And hailing frequencies are open. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Shield of Tomorrow, our Star Trek RPG show. It's nice to be back. Hi, Kat. Hi, players. Yeah. It's weird because I was just saying before we went live, I haven't actually gotten a chance to really hang or talk to any of y'all or catch up or anything. So it's nice to see your beautiful faces again, back from the desert. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'll just go ahead and tell you the highlight of my Burning Man experience right now.
I mean, if it's a personal thing, we don't need it's.
He's one with the universe.
The best moment was dressed in a shark kirigumi. With laser fingers on my hands, and I was in a LARP that Matt Mercer was running, and we were literally just racing across the playa in the middle of the night trying to save the world. It was something I will never forget.
That is like a typical Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it was Wednesday. I think that's what I was doing Wednesday while you guys were playing Lasers and Feelings. I was, yeah. You
can go to Burning Man without running something. He will never be a player.
No, dude, there was a moment during the day where he was just laying on the ground staring straight up, and we walked over and I'm like, hey dude, you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, no, I'm just planning the game. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is what I left you doing.
Yeah.
Last saw you in LA.
Just turn your brain on.
Now here you are in the middle of the desert. Like, that's the man. That's how he works. All right, so not too many announcements from my end of the table tonight. We do have, of course, another Star Trek Online code giveaway. So stay tuned during our break because we're going to be throwing another giveaway code up, and make sure to click on the link. It'll take you where you need to go. Yes, and that's the other thing I need to announce is we're going to be having another crew play along soon. It was so much fun when we did it last time. It was pizza, hanging out, chatting with you guys, and playing Star Trek Online. It was so much fun. And it was pure chaos. So this next time we're gonna have it much more streamlined. But I do have to give the heads up that we're going to we won't be playing low level. We're actually gonna be trying to play a little bit higher level instances this time.
Oh, no.
So
I get through the tutorial.
I know. Hey, don't even worry about it. Like we're gonna be done with the tutorials this time. All the characters will be out of the tutorial this time around. But it's okay because it has like a sidekick system too, so we can actually play. We can play instances with any level, really. But, yeah. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, exactly.
Players.
Yeah.
Teach me your ways.
And totally check out. I haven't logged in, obviously, in a while, but because I was at the Man. But our fleet Shield of Tomorrow was doing very well when I left off. So I think we have a transwarp gate now that takes us straight to our starbase. Yeah. Last I checked, it was going up. So which is great because I literally emptied all of my dilithium into that project and I have none left. All right. Anyway, next announcement. I have a birthday announcement. I want to wish a very, very happy birthday to Voyager 1.
Yay!
Voyager 1 turned 40 yesterday. Voyager 1 is currently 12.97 billion miles from Earth, traveling at a speed of 17 kilometers per second. And Voyager 2's birthday, I think, is actually coming up because they launched not too far apart. So, yeah. It's pretty incredible. And you can actually go online to like space.com or even NASA, of course, and actually see the message that, of course, is written on Voyager. It should be revised. It's too bad we can't send Voyager 1 a revision, being like, the revision should be, I swear to God, we're not crazy. Like, you'll look at us and you'll think, oh, okay. But no, it's not as bad as it looks. So that's that for that announcement. Does anybody...
Maybe it's better that we sent a warning label into space.
Yeah.
Here's what you're getting
We
into.
shot a disclaimer into space.
Yeah. Stay away from Earth. We're
Mostly harmless.
Yeah. Only mostly harmless. Yeah, so I think that's it for my announcements. Does anybody have anything they want to send out? Oh, Wait, I should get this out of the way now. I'm introducing a new segment on the show tonight for the intros. It's not that long, but it's very entertaining. I pitched this to Sax, and Sax thought it was a good idea. It's called Sam Loses Their Shit. And it's where I present Sam with a gift that a fan sent us. And I've already
Oh, snap.
going to take this over here.
Oh my God.
I like Sam Loses Their Shit. I like this segment.
And
I feel like this should be documented.
It's dice.
this is good.
What's that?
Dyson pencils!
Dyson pencils.
Dyson pencils.
Oh, that's
So many dice!
Lots of Dyson pencils.
And so many pencils!
That's like a 5-pound box of pencils that someone sent us. Yeah, I think there's a note in there. I haven't read it yet. I feel like this is a fairly good start to the segment.
I need a second.
Does anybody have an inhaler, Sax? Do we have a breathing apparatus of some kind? No? Oh, well, this might be Sam's last episode. That is a big freaking bag of dice.
105. Yes.
Okay.
So thank you, fans of Shield of Tomorrow. You broke Sam. Well done. Well done.
Piper's twin hopes I roll all of the natural 20s at these days.
Piper's twin. Oh, we love you, Piper's twin.
Nice
A
dragon,
huge
buddy.
loving shout out to the Ox crew. I haven't gotten a chance to chat with you guys in a while. I love Piper's twin. Piper's twin is a gift machine. They're just like, here, have all this stuff.
It's true.
Yeah, they're a gift
Piper's
machine.
twin also got me art pencils because I'm learning how to draw. This is
kidding.
my
Very
second week
good.
of learning how to draw.
You're just learning because what you were
Very
drawing
good.
out there was pretty spectacular.
Yeah, I had never drawn. Like, I stopped after elementary school because I hated everything about art class ever.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
And
That
so
bums me out.
I took it up.
I don't even want to hear that story. That just bums me out.
Yeah,
I don't
Hector.
even- nope.
Hector, are we gonna have we adequately shown the picture you did of Talon? Because it's incredible.
On the break.
It's beautiful.
I'll bring it back. Because
Okay.
it's here.
Cool, yeah.
I'll bring it
Because
back.
if you guys haven't seen it on Project Pixel, they did a picture of Talon. Hector drew a picture of Talon, and
It's
it's
fun to draw.
you might not know this, but Hector's a hell of an artist.
Yeah,
And-
How many talents is an unreasonable number of talents for one
Only
person?
because
Dial it down a
I
little bit.
didn't
Start
stop
making us look
drawing
bad.
when Sam stopped drawing. That's the only. That's the difference.
Hey,
That's it.
Don't
Yeah.
feel
From the
That's
start.
it.
Right, so I get to
not a
rejoice
guilt
in
thing.
taking it up. It's like when someone hasn't seen a really great thing, and you're like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
You finally get to see
Yeah.
Firefly, and like enjoy that for the first time, or how you're reading Harry
just-
Potter for the first time.
I want to watch it.
Like, that's amazing, and I'm so happy for you. So
I'm
I
just
feel that
bummed
way
that-
about
that, like-
drawing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Piper's twin got me art pencils was the point of that story.
I like coloring.
So
like a
Piper's twin,
child.
thank
I can sit
you.
and color in a coloring
You
book
break
for
me on a regular basis with
hours.
happiness.
Well, does anybody have any other announcements?
I do.
Yeah, fire away.
Anybody out in Vegas? For some reason, Xander and I are going back to Vegas. Surprise! We just found out that we booked a con. It's called GameCon, and it's an indie video game convention. And Xander and I we're going for the whole weekend, and we have a concert on the Saturday night at 5, and we're doing a voiceover panel on the Sunday at noon.
Vegas was so much
And
fun.
it's like all independent video games. We get to like test all the games, and I'm really excited. It's their first year on the
That's
West
awesome.
Coast, so
That's rad.
I'll let you guys. I don't know how
I don't miss the sinus infection, but I do miss Vegas.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Is that right? How it goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Numbers are hard. Dates.
Numbers are hard. What are we doing role
September
playing?
8th.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, excited.
You just got back from Hawaii.
Yeah, just got back from Hawaii. That
And
was
you
amazing.
just wrapped up.
We just wrapped the improvised generation.
Oh, so there's any more improvised generation announcements? Except for the next time
well,
you guys do it.
Except for the next time, and also I'm in X Files now too. So
Are you guys doing an X-Files
yeah,
improv
X
show?
Files. We started last Friday.
What?
I'm in the show this Friday, and I'm in for the next few weeks, and then here and there. I'll let you guys know when I'm in
Right.
it.
My mentor
But-
was in X-Files, and he there's a sci-fi museum here in Hollywood, and they have props from X-Files, and his severed head is in a jar that you can go visit.
Nice.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
What's up?
My announcement is that we got to go see Elisa in Improvised Generation, and it was amazing. And I didn't realize somehow after the weeks of doing the show that folks who are not able to make it to the shows can catch some of those shows on YouTube.
It's true.
And this, I feel, is valuable information that the internet needs.
Yes. You can watch Improvised Generation on
We
YouTube.
have
Elisa.
from our season 1, 2015 we started. From season 1 through season 3.5, which we just finished, is all on YouTube. Except
Okay.
for we've missed a couple of episodes here and there, but
We are going to supply you guys with that information now that we
Yes.
have it, because that is ridiculous. We should have known that.
It's true.
It's a great show, y'all.
Yeah.
Really good.
We have
I'm really
some
sad.
people who have tweeted me that they're watching it.
Cool.
Like, so some of our folks are watching it.
And I think our
but
girl
yes, I should say
Joanne
this.
is going through.
Yeah,
Oh,
yep.
yeah.
Right now.
Yep.
They're
Yeah.
already on it, Eric.
Yeah.
But we'll give them
yes,
the
you're right. We
information.
should disseminate that information.
I forgot next Sunday, the 17th, if you guys are all free, and if you are free, I'm doing a Library of Arts concert at a comedy club, local.
Oh, yay.
Like and I
Really?
think it's free. It's a free show. So free is cool.
What's the comedy club?
That's what I should have looked up.
great.
So
All
that's a
right,
great
let's
announcement.
know. I will tell you next week
I'm
where
going to
it
read a
is.
book tomorrow.
I have an
Can't tell you the title,
No.
but it's going to be good.
They might say it, but I want to say it.
Yeah. What is
Sam
it?
has can I say it?
Sam has an announcement?
I don't know. Do I have announcements?
Does Sam have anything left?
Yes.
That's a ridiculous
Friday,
question.
Saturday, Sam has a dance show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Awesome!
Yes.
I've seen Sam dance. It is rad. I saw
I'm
you dancing at the
super
Alpha
excited.
Party at Comic-Con. That was so much fun.
Well,
Getting burned up
cannot
the floor.
wait.
I'm in
Yeah,
Vegas.
so I am having a performance with my longtime collaborator, Kai Hazelwood. We are doing a piece called No Spoons, Only Knives. And that will be at Downtown Dance and Movement in downtown LA on Friday at 9 p.m. and Saturday at 2 p.m.
Okay, you all have to take picture and video because I cannot go and I want to see this very badly.
Sounds like an RPG, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
All right, so if we're done with the announcements. Okay, yeah, it's coming.
Sir.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah. All right, we're going to go
That
ahead
was
and
like
jump
a
into
rumble.
tonight's episode of Shield of Tomorrow.
Woo!
Welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into the recap of our episode from over a week ago. Twitter has affectionately begun to call this the stupid, sexy Zazrit episode. I don't know where they got that from.
Right.
No idea.
So the quick recap is this. You guys encountered an Orion shuttle that had wandered out of nowhere during a cosmic event, specifically looking for the Sally Ride, and on board was supposedly a nefarious Orion raider named Zazrit, who claimed he had information about one Orion raider named Malgog. For those of you who need a quick refresher at home, Malgog was the first bad encounter the Sally Ride had out of space dock, and
Killed a
was
crew member.
responsible for the death of a crew member, the former chief of engineering, Zadis.
Vaporized him. Right.
Vaporized them right in front of them in their holding cell. As the plot thickened and more was revealed about Zazrit and what he had to offer, Zazrit not only revealed that he had information that could lead to Malgog, but that he had information that Malgog was responsible for the supplying of biogenic weapons to the race whose name is completely left my brain and flown. What is it? Zach Dorn? Zach Dorn. Zach Dorn were supplied biogenic weapons, supposedly by Malgog. So things are kind of coming full circle. It looks like Malgog has been up to a lot of things in this sector, flying under the radar, probably because right now the Federation has its hands full with the growing threat of the Dominion War. It's reached a point with the Dominion War where it's kind of, with the conflict with the Klingons and the Cardassians and the shadow of the Dominion War, the Federation is now, everyone's kind of, no one's saying it, but everyone kind of feels like war is on the horizon, one way or the other. It's a very dark horizon for the Federation right now. Malgog did offer you, though, a way of making a wrong right by pointing you in the direction of Malgog. Zazrit made, strike that, reverse it. But that wasn't the only revelation. Zazrit very casually, assuming you all knew, dropped the hint that Zadis, your former chief and engineer, is actually alive and has been press ganged by Malgog. Now, how that's possible, you're not entirely sure, but from everyone's memory, you watched Malgog disintegrate Zazrit right in front of your eyes. Man, I'm okay. I'm gonna get. Hold on. I'm gonna take a swig of coffee here real quick.
Also, don't
It's
forget
that desert.
It's the desert, man. That
sand
alkaline
that
gets in your
changes
brain.
you.
I've got all those worms from Wrath of Khan in my head right now.
Oh no.
Yeah, sorry.
I want to take something for that.
No. They're my friends. They whisper things to me and then they kill me.
You forget, Eric, that at one point 2 weeks ago, we also talked to Admiral Norval Nash.
Norval Nash, yes.
Yay!
That's
I
one.
got a whole new box of pins.
We're
And
already
what
working through it.
Admiral Norval Nash said,
I didn't hear you, Hector. I'm sorry.
Admiral Nash.
Oh, right.
Admiral Norval Nash.
We used to call him Admiral.
I'm sorry, who?
Admiral Norval Nash. He's our
We're just gonna
Got me these
cut to
pencils,
Sam
y'all.
just lighting all the pencils on fire. So
He said to go after it. That's all.
you all watched Zadis get disintegrated by Malgog. Happened in front of your very eyes. So to learn that he's alive is pretty astonishing. Zazrit has also indicated that the information you all need is on board his ship, an Orion Raider, which he claims can't make faster than Warp 3, so it should be pretty easy to catch up to. And when you last left off, you had arrived at the coordinates in the directions that basically he pointed you to, where his shuttle was coming from. And sure enough, you did in fact find an ion trail leading off. Sally Ride, man, she is the bloodhound of the galaxy. Her sensor suite allows her to detect some pretty fine articulate matter. That being said, another big revelation that took place was the scan of the celestial event that you guys witnessed at the Halleck system. An incredible roll done by your Vulcan scientists with the help of Sally Ride uncovered that the celestial event that took place may have been under the same effects as whatever it was that pulled the moon into the planet that you've all visited when you were during the Zakdorn event. You came across the same data, essentially suggesting very strongly that the same events were taking place here in this solar system at Hallex. That took place then. Maybe on a smaller scale, or maybe a little more subtle, but the data does show conclusively that there was something completely unnatural taking place. Essentially, the alignment of the planets was slightly adjacent to where they should have been. And one of the things that was revealed by the Halleck star itself, the blue giant, was not only was it looking also slightly displaced from where it is triangulated on the star charts, but the flow of the gas emanating off of the giant itself, along with its aura, it's almost like a gentle breeze is pulling it in another direction. So there's little subtleties in the data that could have easily have been missed that you dug out, Talon. And I believe the last bit was, of course, Jiv discovering that there is a serious issue with the transporters. Okay. When we last left off, Jiv got permission to take Transporter Room 2 offline to run a level 1 diagnostic, which is basically taking the baby apart and looking at her gears up close to find out what the F is going on. Transporter Room 2 has been exhibiting a lot of anomalous activity, and one of your crew members had a fused vertebrae in her neck, which was easy to correct through the surgical genius of one Dr. Shishiros.
Yep.
However, Jiv has strongly recommended, even with his crews working on Transporter Room 2, that one do not be used unless in emergency circumstances only.
Yep.
And now we continue our hunt for Zazrit's wayward Orion Raider vessel, which apparently has gotten away.
Not for long.
Yeah, not for long. Sally is a fast ship.
Following.
According to my notes, we have 4 momentum.
I believe that's correct, yes. So, for momentum, you are at stations keeping right now, having just picked up the trail. You can plot a course now. You can continue to scan the area. What would you all like to do?
Well,
Sally is at station keeping right now.
I feel like we've already scanned because we already caught the trail. Correct?
You've caught the trail that the ship was here. There's an ion trail indicating that an Orion Raider was
There
here.
may be some other information that we can pick up.
It's possible.
By doing some
Or
scans.
it's entirely possible. It'll all come up to the rolls, of course, and
If
the
we scan,
proficiency
let's
of your
scan
crew.
fast so we don't lose the trail.
Shall we?
I do have a notion in that respect. The
trail should have a vector, and it should have a rate of decay.
Oh, yes.
Usually, once someone goes to warp, they'll stay at the same speed. So based on that rate of decay, we'll know what speed they were leaving at, how long ago they left, and we can use that to infer their most likely position.
What they said.
Where we
Let's do
meet
that.
them. We can pop out of warp
make
right
that
on top
roll.
of them.
That'll all come down to the roll.
I like the sound of that.
Who wants to roll for that? I guess that would be a.
I'm guessing you want to stick your what? What's that?
Sensors? What were you going to say?
Yeah, we're gonna go full
Your big
science
gun.
on this.
Your big gun. You are the big science gun.
Yeah,
you are
we're
the
gonna
gun of
stick
science.
our
Yeah.
big gun on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Wait, what? I caught that. I didn't catch that.
Lieutenant Commander, can you give us a scan, please?
Yes.
As thorough as possible. Thank
Can I
you.
assist, knowing my information about warp and shuttles? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would be a navigation type of role, right?
Yes, I would allow that. Yeah,
ship.
I'll absolutely allow that because
So
it'll
I
depend.
can assist as navigation.
It'll depend on whether or not Talon succeeds, but that's pretty standard for the assist rule. And Sally Ride, of course, will get to assist as well.
And what's the difficulty?
So, real quick, so this is going to be. Do you know what you're rolling?
Reason and science?
That's correct. And
Is that for mine too?
no,
I'd be con probably.
you're going to be con. Wait, what? Let me look at your stats here. Yeah, I would say yours is going to be con and reason.
Okay.
I'm sorry, con and. I'm going to say reason and con.
Okay.
Yeah. And the difficulty for this roll is not going to be fun. It is going to be a 3.
All right. Good thing we have.
But was that with?
We sure can.
That's what I'm sorry. I'm factoring that in right now. But if you want, I can keep adjusting in front of you. But
Yeah,
the
just so we know.
Sure. So
So
the
it was
difficulty was
4.
going to be 4 because you're hunting down a ship that's been gone for a while. Now you're basically trying to sniff out a faint warp trail. So Sally Ride sensors are going to drop that difficulty to 3.
Let's burn momentum and
Sure.
get you
Yeah.
an extra dice.
Yeah.
Sounds
All
good.
right. Cool.
It's a good thing the Sally Ride is the best bloodhound in the galaxy, right?
The bloodhound of the galaxy.
That's
I wrote
right.
that down.
Bloodhound of the
I
Galaxy.
like that. I messed up. Sorry. Okay.
What is a bloodhound?
This trail's gonna be rough to get. No, is that bad?
Ooh, I have 2 success and a critical success.
That's 4 successes.
Wow. And Sally? No. And and a success for me. So 5 successes.
So 5 total successes. So you're going to get all your momentum back.
Woo.
As
You're
you,
up to
yeah, because
5.
you are you up to 5? Okay, so you're 1 short of max. All right. Do you want to spin any of that momentum now, or do you want to pull it?
Can we see what we're getting from the trail so we know if we're
You've got a vector of where the ship headed off, and a general direction of where it's going. I kind of mentioned this last episode that we played, that it's headed towards the neutral zone. You've got confirmation that it is in fact headed towards the Klingon neutral zone.
We gotta catch it before it gets there. Should we burn momentum to see how fast they went so we can see?
Yeah, because then
Any other-
you can calculate position.
Exactly.
Assuming that they go at a constant
And we can
Well-
go a bit faster and catch
Right.
up.
You should. I'm just as your GM. I'm just going to recommend you if you're going to have any expenditure of momentum to discover any more information. I highly recommend you let Talon do it.
Oh, yeah.
Because Talon will get 2 for the price of 1.
that's
Yes.
Come on, you should burn momentum.
So yes, I'd like to know how long ago.
Okay. It wasn't. I would say probably about a day before you found Zazrit wandering the stars. So it's been in the past 48 hours.
48 Earth hours?
48 Earth hours.
Thank you.
Yeah. 2 days. It's been the past 2 days. So they've got a hell of a head start. Talon, you would also note, because I'm going to, well, first of all, what's your second question? Specifically.
How fast they were going.
All right. So as Talon is working her magic on the computer, it's reflexive, Talon. Your eyebrow raises. 1 eyebrow. Zazrit told you all warp 3, and this ship left here at warp 7.
Captain.
Yes.
Where are we right now? We're all.
You're at station keeping. Still, you're not far from the Halleck system.
We're in space. Just kidding.
You are in fact in space. Talon goes, oh my god, wait a minute, we're in space.
What is this? Where am I? Okay.
Pay for you.
Okay, so we're at our stations. Where's Zazrit? Is Zazrit present?
Zazrit's not allowed on the bridge. As far as I know, I think if I remember correctly, no. Captain Martinez allowed him quarters.
Oh, right. Okay. So
He's under guard, but he's in quarters.
He's comfortable. He's comfortable. Don't worry.
And I was there when he said warp 3. His ship.
I believe so. I believe
we were all there.
I think you were. Yes, because that was.
Because I always miss everything. Yeah.
That was the. That was. Yeah. You were there. Yeah. When he was being questioned.
So Captain, I'm finding that the trail is leading to the neutral zone, and they left within 2 days of now.
Okay.
Within the past 48 hours, and also his ship definitely had a warp 7 signature.
Warp 7?
Yes, far exceeding the warp 3 that he told us that it could reach.
Is it possible that Zazrit was lying or was just misinformed about his own ship's capabilities?
Are you misinformed about your ship's capabilities,
No, I am
Captain?
not.
Then I believe he was lying.
Well, why?
That I do not know.
Malgog
Because-
has a fleet, doesn't he?
Say that again?
Malgog has a fleet, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Captain, I want our crewman back very, very badly. But if we can trust Zazrit, that makes him the first Orion I've ever met that I can trust.
That's racist, but it might be accurate.
Okay, so he said that his ship could only go to warp 3.
Yes,
and it's his ship.
to convince us that we would have an advantage, that we would easily be able to catch up to him, because it is in his best interest for him to get his ship back. That's why he told us that.
But that would obviously backfire as soon as we it doesn't make sense.
It is not logical.
Unless we can get him to his ship and he can somehow send off some sort of a signal to let his crew know that he's there, and then he can board his ship and then he'd be fine.
Could I make a roll to determine how fast we would have to go to catch up, or to not
Sally
catch
would
up,
have
but,
to haul.
Well, right, but could I figure out?
Do those calculations, like how fast we'd have to go, and then at what point would we catch up?
Would we be able to beat them? Because we know how far the neutral zone
maximum
is.
warp.
Yeah.
At maximum warp, you could definitely catch up to them. However, when you do, you're going to be very close to the Klingon neutral zone.
Exactly. So, but they wouldn't make it there yet, right? That's what I was
You
trying to
can
figure out.
overtake them. Yes.
Okay.
If they're sustained at warp 7, Sally Ride can catch up to them.
All right, Captain. If we go at
This is the
maximum warp,
fastest starship that Federation has ever built.
we could reach them before the neutral zone, but it would take every bit of engine power we have.
Let's book it for now and then find out what the hell is going on with Zazrit while we're en route.
We'll have time to
Jib swivels from the engineering station and says, "Captain, I can give you all the power you need. We'll catch them.
Let's do it. Let's go.
I'll be in engineering." He gets up and heads to the turbo lift.
Set a course, Ensign. Let's go.
pedal to the metal. They don't say that in space, but I'm saying it now.
All right, I'm not gonna-
Maximum warp, Captain.
You
Affirmative. I don't have a catchphrase yet, so I'm working on it.
That's okay.
Okay.
Cream soda.
Cream soda.
Usually when
To be fair, we don't let you go that fast.
Yeah.
All that often.
I know. I
So-
was really excited.
So, in that case, are you giving specific authorization to proceed at past safety protocol for warp? In other words, warp 9? All right.
Yes. Warp
We
9.
might have accidentally already done that, but oopsie doodle.
No.
Captain don't know that.
Whoop. Oh,
There may
that's
be,
right,
it might be in the log, but
Never mind.
Captain.
That's our little secret.
All right.
Warp 9.
Once again, Sally rides nacelles. Form that V formation, and she slips into warp.
I'm just so happy.
As you see the star stream come up on the view screen, Sally is racing across the stars in pursuit of this ship. It's once again a reminder of the incredible technology at your command. Sitting in her chair, though, there is an unanswered question about Zazrit and his information that he gave you.
Okay, people, I need some suggestions. I think I'm going to have to reach out to Starfleet to let them know what the situation is, but we are also heading to the Klingon neutral zone. Commander, do you think that we should reach out to the Klingon Empire and let them know what's happening?
I think we're planning on catching them first. If they beat us out to the neutral zone, then we have to contact the Klingons right now. There's enough diplomatic antagonism. If we catch them while they're still in Federation space, it's not a Klingon issue.
That's true. That's what I'm worried about, though, is that there's diplomatic antagonism, that if we don't get out in front of it and at least warn them that something could potentially happen, that something could cross into the neutral zone, then we would be seen as being negligent or
The Orions aren't
bad at our
answerable to
jobs.
us.
But we may be dealing with some incredibly important information. Kappa Malgog and his dealings, his selling of weapons, may pose a threat to this entire sector, to the entire galaxy.
Ensign, how much time to the rendezvous point?
That's a great question that I know the answer to.
Then let us hear it.
So you guys will probably, if the intercept takes place, and if you've calculated this appropriately, within the next probably 7 hours.
We're going to be catching up to them in about 7 hours, Captain. If they can go faster than warp 7, then we might have an issue of being in Klingon space. However,
It's cutting it close.
it is cutting it close. However,
Yeah, for sure.
Right now, with the pace that we are heading, we will beat them there.
All right, we have 7 hours. We can find out what's going on from Zazrit and let the Klingons know in good
Now,
time.
real quick, because you guys are racing against the clock, I am going to have you spend some power from the Sally Ride's warp engine.
That makes sense.
Now, if I remember correctly, Sally can regenerate immediately 1 warp power. Is that
she can give
correct?
it a try.
All right. So go ahead and make that roll real quick, because she has an advanced warp drive. So Sam, real quick, tell us what you're rolling so we all know, so that we know at home what the rule is.
I am rolling, well, I unsuccessfully rolled an effect die, a d6. If you roll a 5 or a 6 on that, that is considered an effect under these rules, and Sally would regain the lost power.
Is it all the lost power or just 1?
I can check because I've written down the talent and I've
I
printed
think
it out
it's
today.
just one. I may be incorrect.
I think it's just
though.
1 too.
it's just
Good to know.
One challenge die for each power spent.
Okay.
For each.
Oh, in that case, I'm gonna say roll 2 more,
Okay.
because I'm gonna subtract 3 power from the Sally's, and that's being pretty.
being generous.
It is.
We're going back to warp.
It is
That's understood.
technically it should probably be. It should actually probably be something like 9, since you're hitting warp 9 in a
get one
pursuit. All right, cool. You get one back.
Two down.
So in this case,
That is exactly statistically.
So we have 9
Cool.
right now?
no, Sally's power total, I believe, is. Oh, where is it? I have it written down.
Her total is 11.
We
Her
have
total is 11. That's correct.
So we're at
So
9.
because
That's correct.
3 then 2.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going warp 9. Here she comes. Here comes Sally Ride. She's a demon in
if we don't spend this
space.
power now, we won't have a chance to get in combat.
Driving, by the way.
If this was since you're in pursuit and it's not in combat, I'm being a little generous with the power consumption. Now, typically the rule is if you are in combat or if you're trying to chase if you're in pursuit of a ship, and this is taking place in an action-styled setting, usually it's 1 power per warp factor you go to. In this case, I'm being a little easy on you guys because, again, I'm kind of treating it as a hunter prey. What's up?
I remember that being a house rule.
A house rule?
Anyway,
It's something Nathan Dowdle told me, and I was like, that makes sense to me. I liked his house rule.
I'm transferring power from the holotarg, so we're good.
Okay, the holotarg dies.
No, he's just
Why?
he's
Why would you
sleeping.
do that, Lark?
He's just
I'm
sleeping.
just kidding. No. The last squeals of the holotarg on the holotarg.
mess with my ensign.
You need holotar time more than any of us.
I don't, and I'll never go in there. And if I do, it would only mean that it was because I was achieving some sort of a
Holotarg is
character
fine.
development.
Talk
But
about a
until then, it's
recreation
not
regimen
happening. Huh?
that I've been meaning to talk about a recreation regimen that
please,
we
doctor.
I think you would derive a lot of therapeutic benefit
I don't need it.
from.
I'm set in my ways.
If I must spend holotarg time as scheduled by the doctor, then you must as well.
Well, I took those comedy classes you took. They weren't as frustrating as you claimed they were. They were very easy. They were fun. I'll keep doing that. I'll keep doing comedy classes, and you keep doing the targ feeding, okay?
I will do comedy classes if it is not observational humor. I do not find that funny.
But that's relatable. All right, hit us with a joke, Talon.
Your
got 7
eyeline
hours.
meets one of the ensigns on the bridge. It looks like they're trying to. They see you looking at them, and even though they know that Commander Killjoy is giving them a look, they just go. And they just continue their work. Like, it's a moment of like reprieve in a high stress situation. You can see the ensign just kind of smile and just continue at their station.
I feel like we're all deep down extremely
Don't chew them out.
happy that Zadis is alive. I think that's kind of what the energy is. Like we're kind of just kind of giddy.
He's
yet
out there.
Tentative.
Apparently
Yeah.
press ganged by this pirate.
Yep. Oh, don't worry, we're getting him back. Better than dead.
Getting him back.
Okay, senior staff, I'm going to need everybody to report to my ready room, but before we do that, Talon, I need you to tell a joke here on the bridge. Hit us with your best one.
Captain, do you think this is the appropriate time for humor?
I don't know how that could lead to a punchline. But I'll go with it. No, I don't think it's the appropriate time for humor, Talon.
Well, then perhaps you should check your watch.
But
That's actually good. That was actually pretty good.
Was that humorous?
Yeah, that'll do. We'll work on it. All right, senior staff, let's go ahead and report to my ready room.
So,
I do not like being put
Laughs
on
on the bridge.
yeah.
Wear a watch. A watch is an old earth-timey
That is
device
why
that
it
would-
is. That is why it was humorous, because no
Yes.
one wears watches.
It's good. It's funny when you explain the joke too. It's good. It's a good way to start out at humor. Okay, we're in my ready room.
Yeah, everyone goes into the conference room here.
Great.
You guys gather around the table.
Well, I brought everybody in here because I just want to go over exactly what everybody needs right now to be able to do their job. I'm going to contact Admiral Nash as soon as this meeting is adjourned, and then I'm going to go down and talk to Zazrit to try to get to the bottom of the lie that we were told. And if any of you wanted to accompany me, you're free to do that as well. Except for you, Ensign Sage, I'm going to need you to keep flying the ship.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
Yes,
But
we're at warp 9, so
I would have liked to. I would like to have a word with him as well, because I'm very upset that he would lie about his warp capabilities when our warp capabilities was what has got us in this situation in the first
Right.
place, Captain.
So before we get to that, before I contact Starfleet and let them know what the situation is, I just wanted to check in with everybody. Does anybody need anything? Commander?
I have everything I need, sir. I'm looking forward to interviewing Zazrit.
Okay, great. You're of course going to accompany me, if you wouldn't mind.
Very much so, sir.
Okay.
Captain, I know engineering is busy with our journey, but I'd like to know that if we need to beam someone, they aren't going to end up on one of my beds.
Did Jiv follow us into the? He's senior staff, right?
Jiv's in engineering. Did you? Oh, but if you called a senior staff meeting, he would have attended that. Yeah, sure.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but he left to the turbulence to go to
left to
engineering. Yeah, he's
So-
basically juicing the Sally ride to get power back, but
Right.
he can totally come to
We
the
can comms
yeah.
him
Great.
So we'll say Jiv is there as well.
Did it? Great.
So, yeah.
Jiv, what's the update on that on the transporters?
We're gonna need at least another 7 hours.
That's convenient. That's the exact time of our.
Well, we can use transporter room 1, but the situation's not going to
But
change.
I don't want to risk it. Okay.
We can also use the transporters on the Colorado.
It's entirely possible. Yeah.
It doesn't get a lot of people through.
Actually, that's a really good point, Captain. Let me run just a level 4 diagnostic on the transporter in the Colorado, just in case.
Okay.
Because it's the odds that the same effect is happening on both of Sally Ride's transporter room. It just makes me nervous. I just want to make sure everything is functioning properly.
And just to kind of refresh my memory again, Jiv, what was it that you were thinking? What's your hunch? What's the issue here? What's the problem?
I'm actually a little embarrassed to admit this, Captain.
Don't be.
Right now, I don't have enough data. I have no idea why she's acting like this. I have no idea why the transporter is having a problem.
If you wanted to run a diagnostic on the transporter on the shuttlecraft Colorado, is that because you think that the ship and the environment had some sort of effect on our transporters?
It's possible. It may have
Okay.
just been the Halleck system. I don't know if there's an external issue or not, but the truth of the matter is since I can't pinpoint exactly why the transporter is behaving the way it is, I just want to make sure that it's a local and not a phenomenon that's spread out to all transporter.
Good thing to roll out.
Talon, did you say that when we were taking scientific data from the astronomical event that we just witnessed, that it was similar data to when we saw the moon being pulled?
Yes, it was.
What?
Yes, we had very unusual data returned from the celestial event, and it looks as if the same gravitational pull that made the moon at Citrion 7 become out of alignment.
I read about that.
You read about it.
He wasn't with us yet.
Yeah.
You read about what exactly?
The mission report. I read your mission report about a moon colliding with a planet.
He wasn't
Oh,
with
yes.
us.
That's right. Yes. This effect was repeated on a low level, but still it was the same effect. Does this sound familiar to you?
No, not familiar. That's just incredible.
Is there any
It's-
way that we can get you some of that data that Talon had from the
Yeah.
Citroen 7 incident, along with maybe looking and comparing with the data that we just got to see if any of that could have any effect or if it has any correlation with what we're experiencing with the transporters?
We transported a lot of people that day, and there were no irregularities
That we know of.
that we know of. Also, does our Orion dump shuttle have transporter capabilities?
None of our smaller craft do. Only the arrowing.
Good question. And
If we're right, if this hypothesis does lead us down this road and it turns out that there's some kind of spatial phenomenon that's affecting the transporter system, then we should probably scan subspace as well.
Okay.
Just because if it's affecting transporters on the atomic level, that's... I've never heard, I didn't think that was possible. I mean, unless you're near a significant gravitational event, like a black hole, I don't see how that would be possible.
Well, we don't know what happened.
Yeah, I'll run the diagnostic. And Lieutenant Commander, yeah, if you want to send that my way.
Captain, may I, if you do not need me
Yeah,
for the
dismissed.
Zazrit, I will go.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I didn't want to have to read science manuals to try to interpret what you were going to send me.
I know Sage has to, like, drive the ship, but, like, the puzzle part of her brain wants to go and play so badly and figure it out, but that's okay. Captain, if it's all right with you, I'll head back to the bridge and catch us up with the Orions.
Other than the transporters, Doctor, is there anything else you need?
No, but Captain, could I have your permission to listen in on your discussion with Zazrit?
Yeah.
Real quick, just to because we should nip this in the bud right now. Just like any Star Trek episode, as a senior officer on the bridge, do not feel chained to your post unless you're ordered there. You can leave anytime, and an extra will come fill in the role. Do you know what I'm saying?
Could I help kind of, I don't know, look over things with the transporter issue from the engineering?
I was going to say, because Sage has such an expertise with engineering on top of being a hell of a pilot, you could technically assist Jiv with his work.
Because I could do it from the bridge if I needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bridge engineering station.
Because I'm kind of like
If you want to work in
Go for it,
tandem,
Sage.
I'll let you assist Jiv as he
Okay.
gets the information. And what I'll do is I'll let you
Sage
lower
loves a
the
good puzzle.
difficulty of the roll that Jiv is going to make to determine what's going on with the transporters to see if this is a viable hypothesis. Now, we are actually going to use the hypothesis system because Star Trek Adventures actually has a rule section for forming a hypothesis with the scientific method.
Scientific method, baby.
Dun, dun, dun. So you observe a new phenomenon. You've already reached your conclusion.
I'd like to do the science.
So I'm gonna go ahead and explain to you how this works.
Right.
All right. So when encountering a new phenomenon, the characters participating in the effort figure out what the disciplines the phenomenon falls over. The character with the highest rating in the discipline will then be noted as the research lead. In this case, it'll be Jiv.
Okay.
Players then throw out their ideas of what might be happening. The research lead then chooses 3 of 5 of these ideas, which are tagged as hypotheses. And this is explained to the GM. Now, you've got 1 right now. You think maybe the celestial phenomenon. If you have any other ideas, you can throw it out there. Because it's think of it like this. You don't have to come up with more, but if you cast a wide net, you have a better chance.
When did this start happening again? Was it?
Well, let me finish reading up this, but yeah,
Okay,
but
okay.
keep it in mind. The GM then determines if any
down, it's
hypothesis fits the truth. If none of them fits the actual problem, the GM immediately gains a point of threat and can tell the players immediately to come up with a new hypothesis.
Okay.
If the players are onto something, the GM tells them that they are, but not which hypothesis is correct. The GM, this is part 3, testing. This is where you guys are going to be doing now. The GM then assigns a number of successes needed to determine if the hypothesis is correct. This ranges from 1 to 10 depending on the difficulty of the research and the problem. This is often accompanied with a deadline in terms of how many intervals they can work. The research lead then determines which hypothesis to pursue and to roll for it in order to try and reach the target number of successes before they run into intervals. So if this all sounds like mumbo jumbo to you, don't worry. I'm going to guide y'all through it.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and establish a few of your ideas. So right now you've got that this Halleck system event could possibly be what is affecting the transporter system.
And it can be as broad an idea as that.
Seriously,
That's
it's
the
Star Trek, so
hypothesis?
just throw ideas out
That's
there.
true.
Like if you think something could be going on,
How
it
long
just
has it been going on for? I couldn't quite remember.
so Jiv discovered the problem around the time you guys witnessed the event. It was just before the event took place. The celestial event took place.
Right. So it's only been happening for like the past day. 24
Yes,
hours?
that's when he's noticed it.
Noticed it.
Now, I'll go ahead and give you this piece of information. The injury that was sustained by one of your officers of this fused
disc.
spinal, that happened prior to the event. It's what caused Jiv to notice it.
And
But he didn't know that there was an injury. He just noticed that there was a molecular realignment taking place on a finite level. He was able to catch it. But the ensign didn't start complaining of pain until when she basically came to sickbay.
and how much time has passed since the end of episode 3 to now?
The end of episode 3 till now?
When we dropped off the Klingon.
2 weeks.
Was it been 2 weeks? So
between-
it's been
Queen
way
hasn't
past
been
that.
that
no,
long.
no, sorry, I don't know about that.
It hasn't been that long. I would say it's probably been closer to like 4 weeks, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, so it's been way after that. Okay.
Yeah. I actually don't have a definitive timeline, but I can tell
I was
you.
kind of thinking maybe something, because since we were right next to that nebula, if something within the nebula might have caused it to where we just haven't noticed it because we haven't needed the
That's
transporters.
entirely possible.
So is that a separate hypothesis?
That's
Is
one
the
little separate
nebula?
hypothesis that something within the nebula.
we get
because
three
we never really
hypotheses,
scanned the
or-
nebula. We never really did too much with it.
Did you say we get 3?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so then one is that
The celestial like pull that's taking place
is what's
the
causing
pull
the effect on
is
the
what's causing the
transporters,
effect.
right?
The other
And
one
then-
is the possible contact or proximity to the nebula during the Cardassian event. Could
And
have
then
been
a third
trigger.
one. I'd like a third one to be that the proximity to biogenic weapons.
Ooh, that's a good one. You guys were
what's
planet
causing
side.
this.
Sally Ride had landed.
That's true, but hasn't.
And
but
our
that's been
shuttlecraft.
quite a big. But since then, we went to. We got all of our systems like upgraded and like all that other. We've.
Itself
but
could
still,
be
yeah.
That's
a
true.
potential
Yeah.
That's true.
anything that has an
So-
effect on power systems,
That's very
like a
That's
weapons
true.
refit or
So you
phaser
could
eraser
you
reduction.
could chalk that up to a fourth biogenic weapons, and the fourth one could be your weapons upgrade.
Yeah, weapons
Could have had a problem. Could have actually overcharged the systems.
Okay, so
So-
before we land on a fifth, let's have a little brainstorming sesh.
Okay.
Because I feel like Commander Rue has some ideas.
Many
Commander?
of them have been discussed.
Many of them have been discussed. What do you got? Hit us with it. Any that we have not discussed?
I was wondering whether whatever event interfered with sensors to create our holotarg, among other things, could potentially have disrupted the transporters.
Oh,
With the.
I remember
With the
that episode
artifact.
that we dealt with. That's
We never
right.
were quite
Rel.
sure about the extent to which it genuinely interfaced with our systems.
That's sort of
Ambassador Rel. the
correct.
is
That's sort
very
of
true.
radiation off of that artifact. We had no idea.
I mean, because it could have been happening for a very long time, and it just now has been
And
discovered.
where did that artifact land? Do we remember?
We sent
what
it
happened?
off with our.
with the
Mysterious woman.
with the
Yeah.
mysterious.
Oh, that's right. That beautiful stranger. I hope that's okay, wherever that thing landed. Okay, so that's a possibility. Commander Rue, is there anything else that you have as an idea, as a hypothesis that we haven't discussed yet?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
That's
There's no wrong
the-
answer. Go for it.
Those were the ones that I had off of the top of my head. The celestial phenomenon, weapons refit, the Zakdorn disruption. We have bioneural gel packs, so it's possible that those biogenic weapons could have done something.
Okay.
The computer ghost of the artifact and the nebula.
I mean, the nebula definitely messed with our sensors enough that it was a noticeable problem, and we never really did a full sweep of the nebula, so we don't know exactly what it could have caused.
I don't think this deserves to be on the table, but there is always deliberate sabotage.
Indeed.
That's it. It could have been an inside joke.
We've had
You see
Multiple
Shiv
guesses.
visibly darkens when you, not like he's angry at you, but you know how Rue gets when they see something?
We're just brainstorming, Shiv, okay? We're just talking out loud. That's all.
I'm just
what you're
saying,
talking about.
If it's sabotage,
it
you're going to need a
probably-
security team for the saboteur and to keep me in check.
I understand, yeah. We
Should that be
also.
one of our hypotheses then?
inside job.
Well, we haven't landed on our fifth one yet, our fifth and final one, but we also can't rule out the possibility of the unknown, aka an intelligent, omnipotent alien life form that is just messing with us. That will tend to do that every once in a while and
It's
just.
a very specific way to mess with us.
It's true.
Very
No,
That would
So,
be
you
a
know-
difficult hypothesis to prove or disprove, sir.
Agreed. But at this point, we don't know, and I'm just saying it's still a possibility.
Just to give everybody a heads up, the Q encounters are very well documented in Starfleet.
We all know of the Q.
Everybody, Jean-Luc has done an excellent job at documenting every encounter.
Every missing sock of a crewman. Oh, it's Q. I'm tired of hearing that.
Because of the Q continuum. Oh, I didn't make the meeting because of the Q continuum. I'm right there with you, Rue.
See,
But really, though.
Rue probably feels this way because, as being former chief of security of the last post, it wasn't me. The Q. The Q made me get drunk.
But all joking aside, it could be a member of the Q continuum messing with us, so we need to. We can't rule that out.
We will put it on the list.
All right.
Rule that out.
I feel
So-
like the Q was
Sabotage.
messing
We're
with us.
currently up to
They
7.
tend to be a little bit more theatrical and dramatic. I feel like they would do something that would be. They like to take credit for their sabotage. I feel like they wouldn't
good
just make a very minor minute.
I've been getting the names wrong, and it's
Yeah,
fine.
that's true. Stop the man. It's coming over here.
Unless they were playing a long game.
Minute thing.
But
Oh, that's
still,
true.
You're right.
It's a very
But I
long
feel
game
like,
for the
it's
Q.
such
That's
a
what I was trying to say
minute
before.
sabotage that I feel like they would have wanted something a little bit more theatrical.
Well, let me just put this out there. Jiv speaks up and raises a meaty finger and just says, I just want to point out that I've run 2 diagnostics on the transporter right now, and I have not come across any evidence that someone's been messing with it. It's one of the reasons why I'm clueless right now.
Yeah.
So unless
You're saying it's not like a man-made thing that can be fixed or traced.
I mean, unless like a Tal Shiar super agent made it on board and
Or Klingon intelligence operative.
oh, Jiv leans back in the chair and says, that could be a possibility. I'm pretty good at the diagnostics, though. I mean, he would have to. It's definitely a possibility.
That is also a bit out of character for a Klingon. They deal with honorable deaths. They deal with honorable.
It's true.
That's true, but he's an
combat.
intelligence officer. He's kind of cut from a different cloth of Klingon.
Well, I feel our 2 top hypotheses are the
Hypothesize.
the
Hypotheses.
Well, I'm just gonna stop talking. Words are hard. It would be the phenomenon that we just witnessed with the eclipse or the nebula. I feel
Nebula.
like those would be the 2 strongest
Okay.
ones we should
So
research.
what are the 4 right now? Because we
So
have a
then-
fifth to
Present
land
them
on.
to me.
Timeline's off.
Okay.
Present me your hypotheses.
Oh, all 5?
Whichever ones you want to present to me.
We have
Which-
4 solid right now.
What do we got?
You don't
So-
have to have 5. 5 is your max.
Yeah, we want 5 though. We might as well throw a net,
right, would
like
you
you
like me to
said. I want to catch a
Our girls'
fish.
headaches preceded the celestial phenomenon. Yes? No? Yes?
Yeah, they were before it took place.
We were in the area.
She had been
Correct?
using.
Just for understanding the priorities, because we have 7 right now by my list, so we have to think of the 2 least likely. I think perhaps the Q continuum.
What are your? Oh, you have the Q on there as a possibility.
And
the
captain said-
did suggest
The
it.
least likely possibility,
Okay.
but yes,
So
thank you,
Rue's gonna write it
Commander
down.
Rue. Yes.
All right. So go ahead and list it. To answer your question, Bonnie, yes, it did precede the event that took place when you guys arrived at Hallex.
Right, but we were in the area, so it could be something
were in the same sector,
environment.
yes.
It could be something with the gravitational forces that is causing things on a molecular level to be disrupted because maybe because something's wrong with the environment, the sensors aren't able to compensate.
So that I think that's under the first one.
Okay.
Right, that's the
Right.
first
So
hypothesis.
go ahead and present your hypotheses to me.
We just did.
No.
We've got one.
No, you
Damn it.
didn't.
So the first one is that the gravitational anomaly that we have witnessed twice now, once at Halleck with the eclipse, and once before at Citrion 7
The Zakdorn
with
lab.
the Zakdorn and that moon becoming out of whack.
Okay.
That gravitational anomaly could have affected our transporters
That's
on a
one.
molecular
Right.
level.
Gotcha.
So that's one.
Number 2.
Number
Number
two
two.
would be the almost exact same hypothesis, except using the nebula
As the culprit.
as the culprit instead of the
Okay.
the
That's-
eclipse, because
that's
we were
two.
so close to that nebula
Right.
that disrupted our sensors already.
Okay.
Number 3.
That's 2.
deliberate sabotage by a Klingon intelligence
Okay.
operative.
Or any sabotage. Just
Sabotage.
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Great moment in Star Trek 6. Highly
Number
recommend that
4.
one.
Upgrades and alterations to the ship that have altered its power supply, such as weapons upgrades and long-running holodeck programs.
All right, so that's 4. What's 5?
Is 5.
Do we have a 5?
I say biogenic weapons. That's
The
not.
biogenic weapons?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the radiation therefrom. Yes.
Possibly interfering with the bioneural gel packs.
Now wait, is biogenic weapons the weapons that we encountered on the planet Citrian 7?
Yeah.
Yes. You
Okay.
didn't come into contact with them. You did detect them on your scans, though.
And that's different from the gravitational anomaly that we were experiencing.
Yes.
Okay.
We believe so.
To give everybody an idea of what a biogenic weapon is, it is essentially a bomb-like weapon that will eliminate anything that's organic.
Right.
Anything. It'll just destroy it
Giving off
outright.
radiation.
Just organic.
Just organic, which means you could drop a biogenic bomb on a city, and the city would be just fine, and everybody inside's dead. It's a horrific weapon.
Well, let's hope it's not.
And we're opting for that as a hypothesis option over the mysterious entities.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Yes.
As far as look, here's my gut instinct. That encounter with that artifact was a one-off, a once-in-a-lifetime thing. We had a mysterious stranger show up and take it away safely. I don't know if we've seen the last of her or of that artifact or have heard about it. So I felt like it's not a dangerous.
We're trying really hard.
None of the other
Threat.
effects have persisted.
Yes. The effects that Talon experienced, or any of the ones that we experienced, or Ambassador Rel, the sort of like splitting and merging and creating an entirely new, identity. None of that stuff has persisted, Doctor. You're right, and it's so it leads me to believe that it was just a proximity issue. But on top of that, if there were any lasting effects, I feel like we would be experiencing those before a transporter. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Okay, that's just my gut feeling. So let's just go with those 5.
All right.
Okay, those 5.
We're casting our net.
Here,
I'm going to tell
fishy,
you right
fishy.
now, you guys have one of those hypotheses is correct.
We did the thing.
It's
Okay.
Q. Wait, is Q in there? No, it's not Q.
It's not
Q appears.
Fouled again.
Foiled again.
Fouled. Bird.
So now Jiv has to pick which one he wants to pursue. Jiv says, well, Captain, seems like since we've got the data that you were offering up anyway, that seems as good a place as any to start. I can scan the Colorado.
anomaly?
Yeah. I'll scan the Colorado. I'll do a diagnostic on the transporter pad. I'll cross it with the data that we've got from Lieutenant Commander Talon. And
If you're using the data about the gravitational phenomenon, that will eliminate 2 of the hypothesis. If it's because it's
conceivably.
because it's the moon and this one, right?
What's that?
We can falsify hypotheses by checking the arrowing of the weapons refit, because the arrowing never received any upgrades. We can also rule out the possibility of sabotage, because none of our guests got anywhere near the shuttle base. So we can falsify hypotheses as well.
So which would you like me to do then?
I mean, the same data
Same.
gathering will provide
We'll
you.
provide you with yes or no's on all of those,
Right.
basically. Yep.
Except for maybe the nebula.
So go
Right,
gather that
exactly.
data.
So we rule out a fair number of
He
them.
stands up and says, give me an hour. I should have something for you. Well, that actually depends on his role, but he's an engineer, so he's very optimistic.
I can assist.
Is that satisfactory science,
All right,
Talon?
I'm going to set a difficulty here.
I can put it on
I was
autopilot.
half listening.
I think with the information that Talon was able to uncover with her phenomenal roll to get that scan going, I'm going to lower his difficulty here.
To what?
I'm going to make it 5
And mechanically, you have to pick one hypothesis to
to go
test
after,
right
and
now,
then I'll tell
right?
you. And then, so if he succeeds on the roll, then he'll know if that hypothesis was correct or false, and you can eliminate one. In this case, as Sam rightly pointed out, it actually strongly suggests that the others are false. In which case, I think I would allow you guys to, if you discovered that this one was false, I'll let, instead of going to check the others that would be linked to them being false as well, I'll let you come up with all new hypotheses, and I won't penalize you.
Let's burn momentum to give him an extra die.
Burn time.
There's another thing. This is a timed thing. I'm giving you guys. You have 7 hours before you reach the vessel.
Great.
So this is going to be
In real time?
6.5.
No, I mean, unless you guys brought a lot of coffee, and someone's got to go home and take my dog out. But I think we should be good. All right. So he's going to go ahead and make this roll. I'm going
Think
to.
about opting to succeed at cost if we declare it before the roll.
I'm not going to allow I'm not going to allow that on this
I
one.
thought not, but I thought I'd have it on the record.
Yeah.
Give you an extra die.
No succeeded cost.
No,
yet.
we need.
Can we
need
both
2
assist,
momentum for a
or-
difficulty 5. This is literally the highest difficulty you can
So
do in this
what
game.
I'm going to do mechanically here is I'm going to let you assist Lark, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Talon's data lower the difficulty.
Yes. So it went from 6 to 5, or is it going
went
to go
from-
from 5 to 4?
No, it went from 6 to 5.
It went from 6 to 5.
And are we
even
using the
exist.
sensors for Sally Ride to
No,
to go?
this is not. This is not an. This is.
engines or something.
Can I just re-clarify? You said this is the thing you referred to, which is somewhere between 1 and 10, right?
Yes,
So this must work differently than ordinary success rolls.
it does.
Okay. How does it work?
So this is basically an extended task.
Okay.
Is what I'm chalking it up as.
Okay.
But in this particular case, I'm keeping it simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see how well he does on this roll.
Okay.
We have
and then we
4
can
die
determine-
to get 5 successes, basically. So should we?
An extended task has a work track. It has resistance numbers set up and whatnot. In this particular case, with the difficulty ranging from 1 to 10, I'm going to give him. He's got a shot at actually, especially because you've lowered the difficulty here. He's got a shot. He's potentially got a shot with your assist. If you're going to spend momentum, he's got a shot about hitting 5 successes.
I think we should spend another
So
2.
we
There's
did.
no way we make
Yeah,
it.
we did spend the 1 momentum, and now we're going to spend another
This is to
2.
add extra dice to the roll.
Yes, we're gonna
Okay.
give you 1 more dice. We're gonna spend 2 to give you.
So you're going to give me 2 extra dice?
Yes.
We are
Okay.
down to 1 momentum,
Okay. Burning that momentum.
but Jib is very important to us.
We're gonna get it all back right now because we're all gonna hit crit.
All right. I'm not going to just so you don't get all cranky. I'm not going to tell you the results of this until after the scene, because after this meeting you were going to go talk to Zazrit.
Correct.
This is going to take at least an hour,
Okay.
depending on how well he does. It
That's
might take
fair.
the whole. It depends on how many successes we get. But
I get it.
Okay, cool.
All right, it's engine sciences for Sally.
Sally's not going to get an assist on this.
Yeah.
This is Zazrit with his work kit, sitting down at the Colorado, doing his thing,
figuring
with
it
the
out.
data that
Control
Talon-
engineering for me or reason engineering for me.
This is going to be.
Even worse.
Daring.
No, this would be your reason and engineering.
I just want to be so daring. Okay.
This is your reason engineering roll.
Okay. That's not bad.
Wow, Jiv is good at what he does. All right, so
right.
let's see here. His values.
If that's what it needs to be.
Oh, wait, it just moved though. But it was that. But I don't get it. I can't use
just
a focus,
moved?
can I?
It is
Because
that.
I moved my thing.
I didn't
piece
see
of
one way or the
paper?
other.
No, I promise you, it
On
was
the player's
it was
honor.
this, and then I got excited and hit it, and it rolled.
You
and
did get
but
excited, yeah.
I got excited. It was a happy whoa.
How many
So,
did you get?
I got a 2.
You got 2?
No, but I got 2, like as in the number 2. But I don't know if any of my focuses works on this.
What are your focuses?
Computers,
Computers.
helm, navigation, small craft, diplomacy.
Which one are
But
you testing right now?
computers.
What?
Which hypothesis are you testing?
Right
With
now-
the data.
Okay,
'cause I'm
okay,
using the
okay.
computers.
Hold on.
Sorry.
So right now we are going to the transporter in the Colorado, and they're running a diagnostic to see if the transporter in the Colorado is being affected the way the transporter's rooms on the Sally Ride are, using the data that is being supplied by Talon from the celestial event. So they're trying to hold on.
Small-craft
So they're trying to find out if the data from the pull event that you witnessed both on Citrian 7 and at Hallex is the one responsible, the culprit here for causing the transporter
So you're
problems.
testing the gravitational anomaly hypothesis, but
Yes.
you're doing it via the Colorado's transporters,
Yes.
which you were already planning on running a diagnostic on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Small craft.
I have a
No.
focus on small craft.
That's not going to do it here.
Computers?
No.
But the
But,
data?
but she's saying it cute.
He's so
But she's saying it in
Cute.
a
How many
cute way.
successes?
Computers? Just 1. It was a 2, but
Okay.
it was 1 success. If I could use a focus, it'd be 2. But
Hold on.
Don't.
1 second.
Well, poopy. I got really excited. I was like, look at me
You
helping.
succeeded?
Yeah, but I wanted to really succeed. I wanted to give him all he needed.
Talk about your unrealistic standards.
Hold on.
I'm a perfectionist.
Sending it.
Have you met my parents?
Send it to that Tellarite.
I've not.
Good. I have to be
I'm
perfect.
going to invoke Jiv's value.
Oh.
If it's difficult, it's worth it.
Yes.
And he is going to immediately gain a critical success.
Spend a point of determination.
Yep, he spends his point of determination. So Jiv is going to use his value. Just right here. And that will give you guys all the successes you need.
Is it a total of 5?
No, it's actually a total of 7.
So we get 2 more momentum back.
What's that?
So we get 2 more momentum back.
Yeah.
Woo.
Difficulty 5.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 6. Total of 6 successes.
Difficulty
So-
we were down by
5.
one. Yeah.
1 momentum back.
All right.
If
Okay.
that's what it means to be Tellarite, I don't want to be wrong.
Oh.
Wow.
Jiv has burned his determination for the day. All right.
Access the airlock.
All right. So,
Human humor is strange.
so I went ahead and told you the results.
Yep.
But I had to let you know what was going on because we were burning through that value system there.
Yeah.
All right. So you are. So you're dismissing the staff meeting at this point, and you headed down to talk to Zazrit.
Yes.
All right. Then we'll go ahead and cut to the scene with you. Now, first of all, you and Jiv and Sage are all in the shuttle bay, correct?
Okay,
Working.
great.
Okay. So then, accompanying you, Captain, is
Well,
Commander.
Rue and.
I was going to stay on the bridge,
Oh, so you're on
and
the
then
bridge.
I was
at the
just
engineering
helping
system.
from
Yes.
engineering
Yep.
systems. Yeah.
Okay, so you're on the bridge. So accompanying. Okay, so accompanying
Commander Janil Rue
and the
and
doctor.
Dr. Throlo Shishiros.
So the 3 of you arrive. You're standing outside his quarters. You see a security detail is standing at attention as you all walk up. One of the security officers says he hasn't come out.
What's the security officer's name?
I have it written down here somewhere.
Is it Alex?
Nope.
No,
I kind of want I wish I could access the Aux crew right now. Just bring up the crew list.
We should
Ward and Hart.
What is it?
Ward and Hart.
Thank you.
Ward and Hart. Is that actually? Are you making this up? Cool. Sure. Ward and Hart.
Anything else to report?
No, sir.
Okay.
It's been pretty quiet.
All right. Well, we'll just have a moment of his time.
Yes, sir.
I guess I just ring the doorbell. Yeah.
A few moments pass and no one comes to the door.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
goodness.
just gonna walk in. We're just gonna walk in.
Security override.
Yeah.
Okay. You tell the computer to do security override. You hear a beep of acknowledgement, and the doors go, and it opens up. You see quarters.
Zazrit, where are you?
As you step, are you entering the quarters?
We're all 3 of us
Yeah, what's everybody
entering
doing?
the quarters. I'll take point, but I mean we're all walking in there.
D&D instincts are kicking in, and they don't want to go in without a weapon drawn.
Oh,
can
I have
already
a
see
weapon
it.
drawn.
Oh, that's true. You kind of have 2 weapons drawn. All right, so
I just thought. No, I'm happy to take points, sir.
So moving into the quarters, you step inside. The first thing you notice is the leather harness that he was wearing, basically over the leather girdle that he was having on. The only 2 pieces of clothing he had on his upper body has been removed and kind of carelessly tossed on one of the tables. You see he looks. You see he's. It doesn't take long to notice him though. He's sleeping on the other side of the table on the ground. Next to the couch, the sofa area. But you see, as you walk in, his head kind of jerks up like you just woke him up.
Morning.
And he just kind of.
Hi.
The one thing you will note is he has a lot of scars, and they're not the sexy kind of scars. He looks like he's.
He's been through some shit.
Yeah.
So I get him into
You
Bruce
also notice
Wayne.
something you haven't seen.
That's it. Which is what?
One of the things you had noticed before is on the table. It looks like it's possible that it was under the shoulder. He had once one of his shoulders basically had sort of a baldric, like a leather baldric kind of going on. Underneath it, it looks like, from what you can see from the harness, it looks like the shoulder, the baldric part of the shoulder has been sort of, as I said, it was carelessly tossed on the table. And you notice there's actually a pouch section, like a pocket underneath that baldric, and you see a handle sticking out about this long.
A blade?
Possibly. The handle looks like it's very well fashioned. It has a rubber grip along like a metal seam. So it looks like it looks like it would be the Star Trek version of like a sword handle almost is what it could look like from the outside. It looks like it's used with one hand, and it has sort of the grooves for fingers.
Before Zazrit gets up, I'm just going to walk over to the table and just really super casually just like pick it up.
As you pick it up, you pull it out easily, and it's nothing. There's no end on, there's no hilt, there's no blade, but there is what looks like to be an empty, for lack of a better way of describing it, the inside of a lightsaber, how it kind of looks like an emitter. It does look hollowed out on the inside, and it does look like there's an activation button on
Great,
it.
I'm going to point it away from my face.
Okay.
I'm going to point it away from Zazrit. I'm going to point it away from anything in the room.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to activate it.
It doesn't take. Oh yeah, you activate it. So Zazrit's
am I
getting
holding?
up, and he kind of turns and blinks a little bit and looks at you just as you extend your arm away from everybody else and activate it. And you watch as this beam of energy just goes and it coils down to the ground with a hissing sound. You're holding what looks like a Ferengi laser whip.
I'm going to go ahead
This
and...
this is a weapon that can be used to lash, but it also if you're skilled enough with it and slash with it in the air, you can actually do physical damage from ranged.
Oh, you're like Indiana Jones.
go ahead and...
If Indiana Jones could shoot phaser beams out of a whip, yeah, it's kind of like that. It's a deadly, it's a unique Ferengi weapon and can be deadly, but is also mostly used to incapacitate.
So, with our knowledge, Starfleet knowledge of Ferengi weaponry, we would be familiar with this.
Yes, this
item.
is not an unusual weapon.
Great. I'm going to
Ferengi
go ahead
is
and
not.
deactivate it.
If
and
you
I'm
look
gonna
at
hand
season 1 of TNG, you'll see one of these things in use.
Great.
Yeah.
With the naked Ferengi females, is that the episode I'm thinking
No,
of?
it's one of the earlier episodes
Okay.
when you first encounter the Ferengi.
Cool.
Yeah.
Deactivating it, handing it to my CO.
Okay.
Funny.
You take it.
I remember asking for all his weapons.
I do too.
Zazrit
too.
sits up and he rubs his face and he's like,
Hi, morning. Did we wake you up? So sorry.
"It's all
Sorry
right.
about that. Yeah.
I couldn't fall asleep when you're in low oxygen. You're afraid of never waking up again."
That's sad. That's really sad.
I do all right. I ended up here.
Yeah. If you don't mind, we're going to go ahead and hold on to your Ferengi laser whip. I'm sure you won't
He
mind.
blinks as he looks at it, and then he looks down at the baldric and says,
Yeah.
yeah, I've been meaning to restitch that thing."
Yeah, just while you're a guest, obviously, and we're fixing up your ship, and we're about 7 hours away from getting to your other ship, and we'll just
Sure.
go ahead and hold on to that. Great,
Sure.
thank you.
Yeah, I hear you.
You're with
So-
us?
Yeah.
Thrall, am I doing a scan, see if he has anything else tucked away?
Just the
Happily.
disruptor that that was removed from my person.
See,
I got a
feel
knife.
like
I have a knife
some
on me.
trust has been violated here.
Would you mind handing it over, Zazrit?
Sure.
Thanks.
He raises his hands and turns around.
Any reason these didn't come up before?
Wait, where's your knife?
Just below the belt.
Just below the belt. All you're wearing is a belt.
No, I've got pants on.
Oh,
Man,
those are some green
I'm not there, but
flesh-colored
I can
pants.
think about it.
All right.
No, he does have sort of like, the best way to describe it is like a Mad Max style, like patchwork leather pants with some plate armor on the sides. It has also sort of like a metal dented looking, I almost want to say knee pad, and then he has like calf high boots, really thick like looking combat boots, and that's what he's wearing on the lower half of his body.
Are you sure Stage didn't come with you guys?
Yeah.
So
the knife
he
is wet?
holds his hands up, but he's got his back to you guys.
Yeah.
He's like, "It's below the belt."
Any reason we're just finding out about these now?
Yeah, I lied to you.
You don't say.
Is that a habit with you?
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a habit. It's not something I do reflexively. It's something I do because I don't trust people, you know?
So why did you lie to us about the capabilities of your ship? You said it could only go warp 3. It left here warp 7.
He turns back and looks at you and says, "It left at warp 7?
Yeah. So you're going to do one of two things right now. You're going to explain to us why it was that you lied to us,
I
or
didn't
you're
lie
going
to
to
you.
explain why you didn't know that.
I didn't lie to you.
Okay. And explain why you didn't know that your ship could do that.
I knew my ship could do that. But when I left it, it should only have been able to go warp 3.
How?
because I did a command lockout before I took off. I have the codes to sort of disable the ship. Once I realized what was up, I tried to basically incapacitate her as much as possible.
Who else has the codes?
Just me.
Does your second have the codes? The one you said was locked up.
Yeah, but trust me, you're not going to get him to break.
You started that sentence with trust me.
He shrugs.
If your ship left here at Warp 7, then we have to assume that they did break.
Not-
Or that
it's
the
possible, yeah.
information was pulled from them against their will, forcibly. Maybe the people that they're dealing with have the capability to do that.
I didn't expect him to be able to get through the engines, but that's not all that's disabled on the ship.
What else?
Weapons. I disabled weapons, sensors.
So now we
Tried
have
to
to
get-
assume that none of that stuff is disabled anymore.
You never know. I mean, they might be able to plot a course, but they may not know they're being chased.
That's a very optimistic viewpoint, Zazrit.
Like, all I know is that I disabled that ship as much as I possibly could before I was able to flee it. I mean, how else was I able to get away? They got a few shots off before their weapons shut down, and that's how I was able to get out of there.
All right, so what we need from you, and we're gonna go ahead and have this meeting right now.
Sure.
With my commanding officer, myself, and the doctor. She wouldn't mind hanging around, unless she's got other more important stuff to do. That's fine. But you're gonna give us worst case scenario for what we're flying into.
Worst case scenario, okay. Worst case scenario, by my recollection, if he is in contact with Malgog, he may have sent out an SOS. If they don't have a full... If they don't have full capability of using the vessel, it's entirely possible they may be reaching out to the others for help.
Would Malgog be likely to cross the Klingon neutral zone into Federation space for that? Or would he wait until...
It's possible. I mean, Commodore Malgog might want another ship in his fleet. I honestly don't know. They don't have anything particularly of interest to Malgog except my ship. Malgog doesn't like me very much. So that's a possibility.
Why doesn't Captain Malgog like you?
Because I don't think selling biogenic weapons is good business. I don't think mass murder is good business. I
That's
don't
right, Doctor. He's an ethical slaver.
deal in slavery. Never. Never will.
And you want to go back to
I'm,
the Orions? Why? You have an out. You could have an out with Starfleet.
there you go again.
Yeah.
Trying to convince me Starfleet is the apex of all civilization.
Got about 6.5 hours for you to make a decision.
Well, then I best get back to sleep because my decision was made before you came through that door.
Oh, you're so tough. Oh.
Thank you. I work out.
Supposed to be sarcastic.
Desert, I'd like to think you're different from the Orions I've met. And I've met a lot of them.
A little different, yeah.
But I'm holding a knife you lied to us about. And
Yeah.
we're racing into danger on your word right now. And I'm struggling with that a little bit.
I don't know what do you want me to tell you?
Tell me why we should believe you that our crewman is alive.
I don't know if your blue guy is alive. Zadis? Is that his name? I think that's what he told me. He's going by a different name with the ship.
Wait, say that again?
He's going by a different name now. The crew kind of, when you get press ganged, they kind of tell you who you are after that.
Do you know his name?
I think it was Rizel or Razan, something like that. Something ridiculous. Razan? Rozan?
Here's the thing, Zazrit. What the doctor's asking for is some sort of a... You're just going to have to continue to convince us and continue to convince us
How can I convince
that we
you?
should trust you.
Okay, sure. No, I get that.
You give us all the information.
I've given you everything I've got. I've played my entire hand.
The capabilities of your ship, I want you to have a meeting with
It's
my
an Orion
commander
Raider.
here. Yeah.
If she's fully combat capable, she's going to give you a hell of a fight. We do have raiding shuttles. Now, my crew isn't specifically geared to use them. We can hold off incoming boarders, but we're not that good at, let me put it this way. Orion Raiders, we're really good at boarding other vessels. Some of our
Got it.
Raider shuttlecraft have the ability to slip through sensor detection, but
So I have a question for you. Here's a question for you, Zazrit. If your defenses were overridden, how are we supposed to use whatever information you have to shut down the shields on your ship?
if what I did is overridden and they've managed to, I don't
Lock you
know,
out.
if they've managed to lock me out, then Captain, I got no other hand to play. If that's what's happened, I got nothing for you. I can't help, and I'm under arrest. That's the play. Like, I have nothing else.
Okay.
If they've shut me out, then I've lost. They're not supposed to be able to go to Warp 7.
But if you can get us in, what was that plan again? What's the idea? We're going to lower their shields, beam aboard, get your ship back?
Yeah.
Get the second in command, overtake the ship with a boarding party.
That is, if they already haven't been turned by whatever new Orion crew just decides to...
Possible. I don't know. But there is a couple of people on that ship that I trust implicitly.
Okay.
They're the only people I trust. And I know that they're imprisoned right now. And if we can set them free, we can get the majority of my crew to side with us again.
And again, I want to go off of that. That is something, but they're going Warp 7, right?
I mean, I'm just as surprised as you. Well,
Yeah.
you don't seem that surprised, really.
No, that information we got from an Orion was false? No, we're not that surprised.
So, with this attitude against me, what do I do to make you trust me? I mean, if I sat here and presented you with evidence, would you still trust me? I mean, really, does that knife change anything?
You just sat here and told us you lie.
Right. So, you think I'm lying now?
It's possible.
I think that would be a good way to regain our trust. You tell us something that you've lied to us about.
All right. I lied about the whip and about the knife. The whip I don't keep as a weapon. I keep that on me as a keepsake.
I don't care about those. We caught you in those. We need something else.
All right. Something I lied to you about? I'm trying to recall our past conversations. Most of them were just filled with innuendo and sarcasm.
And charged sexual energy.
There must be something. There must be something, Zazrit, that you're keeping to yourself, that you're playing close to the chest. Something that has to do with Capo Malgog. Sorry, Commodore Malgog. There has to be something.
Malgog's making a play. I can tell you that much. He's trying to get the Empress's attention.
The Orion Empress? Mm-hmm. And why is he trying to get the Empress's attention?
I've often wondered that myself, but if I had to guess, I'd say because he's a slave.
Educate us a little bit about Orion culture. If he...
Women are in charge of our entire
Right.
society.
The Empress in particular.
Oh,
If
yes.
Malgog is able to get her attention, does that make him a made man?
Probably,
Or is
yeah.
there something else that he can get at it? Is he making a play for her position? Has there ever been...
No, that would never happen unless
Okay.
there was somebody like me, and nobody would follow that. The matriarchy would slaughter whoever tried to pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
It would crumble Orion society. We wouldn't even know how to operate at that point. This is the way it's always been.
Right. Well, listen, I think as far as I've been in Starfleet, the Klingon Empire has been an ally, right? And just a few weeks ago, a few months ago, they pulled out of the Khitomer Accords. So, stranger things, you know?
Well, I don't know how to speak to supposition. I don't know what to tell you.
So, he's trying to get her attention how? By doing what?
Let me just put it this way. No Orion in recent history has made the gains he has, and he hasn't exactly advertised how it is he's getting hold of these weapons either.
Who do you think he's working with?
He's probably got some just underground connections that he doesn't want to talk about. I doubt it's anything that's going to be surprising when we uncover it.
And you think he's making plays in Federation space?
It sounds like he's making plays all over the place. It sounds like, honestly, Captain, it sounds like with the shadow of this Dominion thing that's happening, it sounds like he's taking full advantage of it. I mean, let's be honest. The Federation has not had a very good past couple of years with the Borg
Yeah.
and now the Dominion. And I think he's taken advantage of that. And the chaos, the Klingon Empire, and all those bloodthirsty bastards are committing against the Cardassians.
Yeah.
And it's just one thing after another. Crime is a top-paying job right now.
Okay. All right, Zazrit. If we need anything else from you, we'll just show up. But you can get back to your nap, I guess.
I so look forward to being talked down to again.
Great, because I can do that really well.
Sits.
Because I'm smarter than you and you're dumb. So I can do that all day, Zazrit.
He leans back on the sofa. Why do I get under your skin so much, Captain?
You don't get under my skin.
Oh, I don't?
Not at all.
Your resolve hasn't been rattled by me, even in the slightest?
No,
Because
I
I'm
think
looking
it's-
at your crewmates
I think
here,
it's
and I
you.
think there's a different story.
I think it's you that's got a little bit of a twinkle in their eye now, a little dream, a little idea. Maybe I can join Starfleet. Maybe I can escape my life. Maybe I can make a change.
Maybe
think it's
I can
me.
join Starfleet?
I think it's me that's rubbing off on you. Yeah. Oh, trust me. That thought has been had. By our side, by your side, I'm sure. I'm sure that in the history of the multiverse, there's an Orion who's been a part of Starfleet, okay? Don't doubt it. No, I think it's myself and my crew and our compassion.
I don't think they care about the right things.
I think this one does. I think he does.
I've never met an Orion who believed in anything.
I should have just deactivated my life support.
The option's still available.
Sure. Send me to my shuttle. Give me my knife and whip back.
Oh, so tough. He's so tough. Look at him. Enjoy your cushy couch. Let's go. We're gone.
Zazrit, you said no one would follow someone like you?
No Orion Syndicate member. Well, let me put it this way. No one who's neck deep in the Orion Syndicate would be allowed anywhere near me.
You already think differently from the rest of your people.
That's right. It's in the DNA. I'm not affected by the pheromones the females admit.
Then why do you feel so constrained by the way things have always been?
What do you mean?
You're telling us the way it is. Why? Why does it have to be that way?
I'm not an instrument of change.
Why not?
You actually are. You physiologically are an instrument of change.
I choose not to be.
I'm done.
Yeah, I was done a few minutes ago. All right, let's leave.
As you all walk out and the door closes, just before it does, Zazrit just gives you a look, Rue, on your way out the door. He kind of gives you this look. He just goes, as the door closes.
What does that look mean?
Go ahead and make your roll. We'll do this before we go to break.
I'd like one. May I? Group?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Thank you.
Momentum?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What was the difficult?
Difficulty's 1.
Oh. Yeah, splash it.
Stupid, sexy Zazrit.
Stupid, sexy Zazrit.
Do it.
Difficulty 1 roll. He's not resisting, so this is going to be a roll off. Go ahead and make your roll.
All right. 2 successes.
Gaining momentum.
Yay.
It's almost as if he was saying, "Good luck with that one." It's kind of the look he was giving you. Your blood boils a little bit. The idea that you would sympathize with him in any way against your captain, but he does give you sort of this look that gets under your skin that just kind of.
No. He gives me a look. He can't get under my skin without my choosing.
We're gonna go to break now. Oh. It's 11 o'clock, so stay tuned. We're gonna have the codes coming up, and we have an encounter coming up as well. So stay tuned and stay active in chat, and we'll see you guys in 10 minutes. As you finish kissing Zazrit, are we back? Sorry. Full tongue. Go on. All right.
Where are his hands?
Where are his hands?
That's what I'm interested in.
We're like, you know what? Let's just take what the community's doing with shipping right now and just pour some gasoline on that. Just get it on there.
I'm creating the holodeck
Like that.
program right
There we
now,
go.
just for you, Captain.
This This is why holodecks are an HR nightmare. It's not all puppy dogs.
Dude, what was with that? Do you remember that incredibly racy episode of Voyager with B'Elanna and the Vulcan that was going through Ponfar?
Yes.
That was like that was one of those episodes that was really riding the razor's edge of like
It's like a
yeah. That was one of those Star Trek episodes. Every now and then they come way too close to. Anyway, so welcome back, everybody. Yes, we're gonna go ahead and continue on tonight's episode of Shield of Tomorrow, Zazrit Part 2. Let's go ahead and jump in. Do we have a winner yet for the giveaway codes?
Yeah, the comic book addict.
The what? What is it?
Hold on.
Oh, he's giving it to me. In the meantime, while he's getting it, I would encourage all of you to, at some point in your life, pick up a good book. I highly recommend Where the Wild Things Are. It's one of my favorite books.
Ooh,
It's the first book I ever learned how to read.
this book. A field guide of aliens from Star Trek from Devastator Press.
Ooh, I need that.
Oh, I love Devastator. Awesome.
Oh, our anthropologist is reading Guide
Field
to
guide to the
Alien Cultures.
I have here the winner. As I heard when he shouted it, but I just needed some confirmation. The Comic Book Addict.
Yay!
The Comic Book Addict, which clearly from the name of you're using in Twitch you belong here. So welcome and congratulations! You are now the winner of the pack that we were giving away tonight for Star Trek Online. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and jump back into tonight's game. We last left off during a very irritating and heated exchange with the very untrustworthy Orion.
Very irritating, very heated.
Very heated.
Sexy.
Very annoyingly sexy.
Very annoyingly, the very shirtless, scarred up,
Somehow
sexy Orion.
He fixed the lighting in there to be like super sexy. Like it was almost like he had blinds on the window, and I'm like, I don't remember there being blinds on there. And it was like
A pink
bunch
scarf
of
over the
it was like a
lampshade
bunch
to
of
give
fog,
it
and it was all steamy in there. I'm
like lava lamps everywhere.
that. Put like perfume or cologne
Captain, I
on
think
the.
his environmental controls are broken.
Yeah, we walked in there, and it was like.
Do I make you want to break the Prime Directive, baby? Do I?
Rotating.
Do I? All right.
In all seriousness,
Sam's bringing us back to the game.
what
Great.
kind of vibe are we getting off of Martinez right now? Like, how are
good
you
question.
acting right now
not
after
there,
the scene with Zazrit?
I feel like the captain is a little pissed off.
I mean, no. Like, what do you look like? What are you up to? What are you doing?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
You're asking me?
We're getting out of
What's
Zazrit's room.
Martinez?
Like, how
What's
is
Martinez's
Martinez?
state?
Are you laughing?
Your XO is basically trying to determine the state of their captain.
Physically, I'm as put together as I can try to be, but I think I'm letting go a little bit of
Control?
visibly. I'm pissed off because we're obviously a little bit out of the control of the situation. We're not the ones in control.
Would it be safe to say, unless if you want, we can have Rue make a roll and try to assess. I mean, this would technically be part of your duty
I'll
as
gladly
XO.
share that information, but yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
sure. Yeah, if you want to.
No, I mean, I was probably going to. I just wanted
roll?
to get
So out
see
of
what I
curiosity-
saw and then talk to you with
Yeah.
words and stuff.
As GM, I am curious. Would you say that Martinez looks like, for the third time in a row, that's? I mean, let me ask this: could we say conclusively that Zazrit specifically really just gets under Martinez's skin, or is it the situation?
He does, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if we peel back,
Before you tell me why, is
Yeah.
this information that they would know in or out of character from watching the interactions? Do you feel like?
yeah.
Yeah.
From
This is the impressions they've gotten from
what
Martinez?
Martinez is saying to Zazrit, from what he's trying to get out of him. I mean, he didn't expect to offer that offer again, but then when we three walked into that room, Martinez was like, "By the way, the offer's still on the table." And I feel like it's because Martinez really does see something in this guy, even though Throla Shishiros is probably, understandably, pretty racist against this guy for her own personal reasons.
The Orions are not
and,
nice people, yeah.
and Andorians, that's a whole thing. But I think Martinez sees in this guy, you're different. Come to Starfleet. Get out of your life. Come to Starfleet. So the frustration,
Savior complex.
yeah, it could be that.
Yeah. Hey,
Also,
that's a
I
hell of a
feel-
good flaw to have,
I
though.
feel
Yeah.
like they're both alpha males in their own right. They're both, captains of their ship. They're both stubborn. Like they're actually probably very, very more similar than they would like to admit. Besides the captain wears more clothing. And
This is why we need like an after talk show,
and
like
has,
Talks
more-
Machina for Star
and
Trek.
Has more, and has a little bit more
Behind the
morals.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
so Zazrit Zazrit
Like,
absolutely does get under his skin because, like, Throlo was asking him, why aren't you trying to make any sort of a difference, or why would you keep existing in that lifestyle if you know and you recognize that it could be harmful? Like, and again, Martinez recognizes that, and Martinez is frustrated because like this guy's adamantly going to go back to his life and potentially hurt people and be a criminal.
So then Rue's impression would be that you are frustrated with the fact that he has potential to do some real good, but he is spitting in the face of.
He literally said, "I choose not to."
Yeah.
It's like you are physiologically the key to change. You are different.
Yeah.
It's in your DNA that you can actually make some kind of a difference or be a force for change. And he says, "I choose not to," and that pisses Martinez off. Willing ignorance. Ooh. And he's so hot, it's just under my like, God damn it. And we're gonna waste that on that guy? Oh man.
Do you want to clean him up and
He could do, look,
take
he
him
could
out
just,
on a
all I'm saying is he
date?
could go so far.
You.
He could go so far in Starfleet. It's like when you meet like a really good looking person and they're a dick, when you're just like, why are you a dick? There's no reason for
be
like
such- you could be
you
such
could
good.
use your powers for good. Everybody already loves you and puts up with your crap. Like you could do so much good.
But his looks.
But you're a dick. It sucks.
Oh man, I really want to. I won't.
But his looks inform that? Is that what you're saying? His looks
But his
inform
looks
his...
are informing your perception of him and your
Sure.
reaction to him.
So I'm going to say this. So we're gonna move on to whatever Rue is about to take action on, if you were going to. But I will say we do have roughly 6.5 hours till you intercept Zazrit's vessel near the Klingon neutral zone. So in this time, we can absolutely cut to that moment, but since we do have that block of time and we are making good time in game time, I'll allow any scenes you guys want to participate in between now and then. If there's anything your characters want to do, think of this as like your moment walking through town in D&D and you've got some moments to visit the tavern or whatever. But this is basically in between A to B. So during transit time, if there's anything specific your characters would like to accomplish or investigate, then we can do that. You're about 30 minutes or so away from hearing the results of Jiv's analysis.
I would love to have an informal powwow with the other senior officers about this
About the
situation.
captain?
Yeah. if
Oh,
that
interesting.
is-
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Great.
So then we'll do that. That'll be a scene. Does anybody else want to? And we'll organize
whoever
this.
would love to be part of that. I would love at least for Rue to be there. And
I was
would also-
about to go see Talon.
Oh,
so we can.
Question, what time of like day is it? What
I
time
was
of
going
the
to say,
shift
if
is
you
it?
want, this is an easy position. Since we want to do this with our characters, what we can do is we can easily say we're coming up upon the end of duty shift for the day.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
Perfect.
All right. But yeah,
So
I'll do this even. I'll retire to my personal quarters.
okay.
And I'll spend a few hours doing some research.
Now remember, you were going to have a conversation with the Admiral after this encounter. So
That's
you,
right. I forgot to do that. I'll do that.
You can do that too if you
I'll
want.
do that. I'm planning on getting about 4 hours of sleep if I can.
Okay.
Before the rendezvous point, and in those times I will have a call with Starfleet as well as I'm going to try to do a little bit of research of Orion ships.
Sure.
Orion culture. A little light reading before bed.
Sure thing. Okay.
what I'll do, and I'm
cool.
out.
All right. Sage and Throlo, do you have any?
Sage is a workaholic, so even though she's going off duty, she decides to stay supervising because we're at maximum warp, and it's just, that's a lot on the ship. So she's going back and forth from the engineering to the con, just making sure everything's run smoothly, and also helping Jiv with all the data and.
Jiv is going to come to the bridge to see you face to face as you guys go over the information.
So I'm
Because his
helping
duty
that.
shift is coming to an end as well.
Like
but this is
I
a pretty
wouldn't be
big
able to
task.
sleep even if I wanted to because of all the excitement and because I don't know, just the whole thing that Zetas could be alive. Like it's just I'm not going to sleep. I'm just My brain is
Yeah,
reeling.
Zadis could be out there. It's true.
Zadis. Why did I say Zadis?
That's okay. Dr. Zadis, Dr. Zadis.
Zadis.
That's what I thought.
I was like, what was I saying? That's what my brain just went to Zadis. Zadis could be alive, so my brain is not going to let me
So Shiv is going to come
sleep
visit
very
you.
well.
Throlo,
might take
you're
a
going to be in
power
that
nap
meeting
later.
you're going to be in that meeting with the other two. All right, cool.
I just realized I should at least confirm with you, Captain. Our plan is still to engage the vessel. Because I'll have to come up with some new tactics, if so.
Yeah, that's a plan as of now. I don't think any information that we learned would mean that we would alter our course.
Actually, yeah, that's
agree.
true. The information you've gotten suggests that tactically the situation may have changed and that you could be headed into a fight.
I certainly have more eventualities to plan for, and so I would just confirm very quickly.
Yeah,
sir.
that's what we're going to do. I'm going to contact Starfleet, and if my orders change, I will inform the crew.
Thank you,
All
sir.
But, yeah.
So then let's go ahead and take the scene by scene. So we're going to go ahead and start with the scenes that were organized before we took the order just now. So we're going to cut to Martinez stepping into his quarters. Shh, close behind you. Captain, the moment you step into the quarters and you are alone, you realize how tense your body is from the past 48 hours of sitting, of commanding the ship. It's been a lot. It's been a lot to process. The death of your first crewman apparently it's not true. He's out there alive. You have a chance of getting him back. Of course, Zazrit and all the conversations you've had with him, the anomaly, the fact that you could be headed into Sally Ride's first real combat engagement.
With a fleet, no less.
Possibly, depending on what you don't know what you're running into. If you intercept this vessel, it could be on its own, or they could have reinforcements waiting for you when you get there. You're not sure. Thankfully, the Sally Ride has a pretty long looking glass, so it won't be like you're jumping into an ambush, basically. But the weight of command today, in particular, the moment the doors close, you realize you have so much tension in your shoulders as you step in. And you are surrounded by the quiet, just the hum of Sally's engines as she is, and just outside the window is the beautiful starfield flying past at warp 9, which sustaining warp 9 for 7 hours, I'm probably going to go ahead and take another 3 power from the warp drive.
Okay.
Okay, frack.
Do you want to roll? You want to roll for Sally?
Yeah, that's
2-6.
genuinely not good.
I
And
know.
you're trying to
I'm a
roll
weird.
to reclaim
I'm a
1,
weird.
correct? That's what you're doing?
One per
You
tower.
affect that. You affect that hard.
I'll do my best. 2. We get 2 back.
So we are
So
up.
we
Okay.
one spend.
Okay.
That's that advanced warp drive for you. But yeah, you guys at maximum warp, Sally is really pushing it, but she's not struggling through it at all. She's an Intrepid class starship. Yep.
Our girl.
All right.
I took the hollow targ offline. We're good. I got a couple extra energy.
Contact Starfleet.
Okay.
Secure channel.
It takes about 15 minutes.
Okay.
But you do manage to get through. And you see, as requested, Admiral Nash appears on screen and says, Captain, I hope you have some good news for me.
Good and bad, I guess. It's a little bit of a Schrodinger's cat situation. It's too early to tell, Admiral.
You see, he's as you're talking to him, you see his uniform is slightly open, like maybe he was going off duty.
Yeah.
And he's filling up looks like a mug with coffee, and he says, "All right, give it to me. What's going on?"
Here's what we know. Info dump.
Okay, info dump.
Got it.
All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Just, yeah.
You spend the next 10 minutes basically explaining to him what's going on. He asks a few pointed questions, which you answer directly. When you're done giving him the information, he says, "Well, Captain, I don't know what to tell you. It seems like you're proceeding the way I would. If there's biogenic weapons involved, then you should see this through."
The selling of it could be involved, Admiral. That's what I was worried about. Yeah, I feel like we have to see this through.
I agree. I don't think we can have this on our backs when we're trying to deal with the Dominion and the Klingon War.
At the very least, I think that it would be worth the risk to my crew and to the ship to at least try to find this ship and get into this situation. If there's a fleet, Admiral, then I'm gonna cut and run. because it's not worth it. But if we can lower the shields, like I described, that our contact said that he could, if we can board this vessel, if we can get the information of not only our missing crewmen, but more importantly, the criminal activity that this Orion is engaging in that could be putting the entire galaxy in danger, obviously it would be worth it.
The threat to the Alpha and Beta Quadrant is enough that I agree with all the decisions you're making, and it would serve no purpose for Starfleet Command to find out that the Sally Ride had been lost. So if you are outnumbered, then absolutely. It's more important that we have the information that we have, and if you can identify the vessels you encounter, if you encounter more than one.
Admiral, are we in a position where we can, or should, inform the Klingon Empire about this?
That's
that they're
tricky.
heading to a neutral zone? I understand that, but is this a case where we need to get out in front of it?
Captain,
To
the
maybe
Klingons
help
are looking
strengthen?
for any conceivable reason to have a fight right now.
I know.
Gowron has taken the Klingon Empire to the edge. He's trying to return the Klingons to the old ways. They're just looking for a fight, and all it takes is one stupid Klingon captain to smell what's going on the other side of the neutral zone to rationalize a conflict.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen before the Khitomer Accords were signed. We saw it during the Khitomer Accords. We're going to probably see it now. So I would just say keep a weather eye. If the Klingons detect a fight happening on our side of the neutral zone, they might rationalize why they should be involved. Here's something else you should consider, though.
Yeah.
A large contingent of Klingon forces are not committed along the Federation neutral zone right now. Gowron has a lot of them committed to the Cardassians, to the Cardassian invasion.
Okay.
I don't anticipate you having a problem, but all it takes is one cloaked ship to ruin your day, so just be aware.
I just want to, okay, I understand my position. I understand my order, sir. I just want to leave you with this, if I can. If there's any sort of record about this, for this to be on the record, but I just have to tell you that I fear that Starfleet is turning into something that it's not. Starfleet is not a revenge squad. It's not a stealth ops organization. You know that. It's an exploratory and peacekeeping armada, and if we keep doing things like this behind the Klingon Empire's back, even if it is just to be safe, I worry that could also stir the pot, sir, as it were. Do you understand?
Do I understand?
Okay. I'm worried that I'm not making myself clear.
No, you're making yourself clear.
Okay.
I don't want to see Sally Ride become a warship, Captain.
I don't either. Thank you.
If that's what you're asking, no.
That's what
Sally
I'm
Ride was
concerned
built
about.
for science. That's the charter of Starfleet. And yeah, things get rough sometimes, but I don't want to see that happen. But sometimes our hand is forced. Otherwise, we wouldn't put weapons on your ship. They are defensive, but I would consider hunting down and destroying any vessel that is trafficking biogenic weapons and is refusing to surrender an act of self-defense should you blast their ass out of the stars.
And I would agree with you, sir. I also just worry that it's too much of a coincidence that this ship with these weapons on it happened to be in the place that it was just a few weeks ago.
What are you suggesting?
I'm worried, Admiral, if I can be frank.
About
That's
what?
all. That somebody at Starfleet is taking us to a place that could make it dangerous. That's all. There's worry and anxiety on both sides right now. There's anxiety on our side, there's anxiety on the Klingon side, and I just wouldn't want anybody at Starfleet to be using the Sally Ride or any ship to help potentially exacerbate some of those tensions. That's what I worry about, sir. I know that when I called you, you were just as surprised as I was that I was in that place at that time. I'm just saying that...
Is this about the Cardassian incident?
Yes. Yes, sir. It just seems too much of a coincidence, sir. Astronomical, those odds. You know? That's all. I'm just letting you know, in the same way you're telling me to watch myself when I go out there with this ship.
Raphael, I'm going to tell you something straight. Yeah. It's okay to discuss this stuff with me, but your career could be jeopardized if you talk like this with anybody else.
I understand. That's why I'm talking about this with you.
I had the same thought.
Yeah.
Starfleet intelligence, they tell me things from time to time. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I don't get all the information until they've committed to an action. Let me put it this way, Captain. I'm going to do everything I can to put the Sally Ride where she needs to be. I can't really say much more than that. But I'll tell you this, I'm on your side. You don't have to watch your back here at Starfleet.
Okay. I understand my position, I understand my order, sir, but if there's any other information at any point going forward that you feel I could benefit from,
I'll tell you.
Don't hesitate, that's all.
It's a need-to-know thing, Martinez. You know how this works. If Starfleet intelligence has got an op going on,
Yeah.
sometimes they're not going to tell the admirals who are working in there. They're only going to let the highest brass know.
All right. Well, I appreciate your candor, sir. Thank you.
Don't stop looking for the patterns, though.
I won't.
Clear skies.
Thank you.
You see the Federation symbol pop up.
Take a shower and go to sleep.
Okay.
Good night.
Your body feels incredibly heavy as you move towards the bed. And laying down in it, it just feels like the weight of the command. It doesn't go anywhere. And you lay in bed staring up at the ceiling for some time. So we'll cut to Commander Rue entering. Where are you guys meeting? The three of you.
Where are we currently? So I'm
We're in the
engineering.
shuttle bay with Sage and Jiv working on the Colorado.
Sage is on the bridge at the
Oh,
engineering
Sage
station.
is on the bridge, yeah, but I think last I heard you were.
Yeah, I was.
Your participation with Jiv was partial. So you basically gave him the data and explained the data, and he applied it to his. So you were only there for about 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
So you are free to go as needed.
I would probably go back to the lab, but I don't know.
I was thinking I would look for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah,
obviously
because
you can just say computer locate Talon.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm back in the
But
lab.
as I do that, I would sort of be walking
As
toward.
Jim, I'm just asking where the
Yep.
three of you have decided to meet.
So I'm at my lab.
Okay. So the three are all going to meet in the lab. All right. So you walk inside just as one of the lieutenants comes walking out and nods to all of you and steps out. You have the lab to yourselves. All three of you are there now. Door
Talon,
closes.
how is
Did you
Frollo?
call me? Is that how did I get here?
Can you tell us?
You guys were all together.
The
three of you with the
I'm
cat. You were with
operating
the
under the
captain.
assumption.
You declared a scene where we were going to convene about this. I'm just curious if you just called and said, "Hey, can you meet in Talon's lab?"
No, I was going and looking for Talon. That was a plan that I had.
in that
had.
case-
So, however you got there, you tell us.
I was under the impression you wanted to meet with your senior officers in private. That's what I was told.
That was Talon. Did you call for us?
So Talon, you were initiating.
Yeah,
this.
So
okay.
we got
earlier
out.
I said, "Oh, I'd like to have a scene with
Okay.
this."
Then,
And I was planning to go to Talon, so I'm going to Talon.
so
Who is
the
apparently
Frollo's going to be there waiting for you.
right?
So-
yeah.
Because
Okay.
because Talon would have asked to speak to you privately.
If you had all of the senior, if you announced
You were
all the
not-
senior, then that includes us. But
if you wanted to.
if you wanted us,
If you wanted
That
to.
was an Eliza call, not a Talon thing. I just wanted to have a scene with.
I'm happy taking.
So,
You can do that.
how about this? Because I don't know about that exchange that just happened and how
Yeah.
heated it got.
Yeah.
They do. So if they want, I'm going to be in my lab working. I figured, Rue
I'm going to
would
you.
come to
Sure,
me.
this is super easy. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys can do that. Do you want Jiv and Sage there? Since they are
Whoever
senior
wants
officers.
to talk things out.
What's that?
Whoever wants to talk things out. Because I'm not.
I'm just
Talon
asking.
there?
I'm
Sure,
just
yeah.
asking who Talon asked to meet there. That's all I'm asking. So who's showing up? That's
I
all
would
I'm asking.
say Rue and Throlo.
Okay, so just Ruin Thorlo then.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll get to you and Jiv on the
it's
bridge in a
fine,
minute.
yeah.
So I'm.
poor Sage, she never knows anything. Who else to know anything?
I'm in the lab working.
Talon, how is the? Hello, Thrilla.
Commander, Lieutenant Commander.
Doctor. Commander.
How are things going with the ship? The data?
Well, I was able to pass off the knowledge that I attained from our celestial event to Jiv, and we are still awaiting the results. Was there something that you wanted to discuss with me? Or is this just a friendly visit?
All right, we're all in the room. Let's have the uncomfortable conversation. The captain is compromised.
Sorry?
He suggested a procedure that was against regulations and profoundly unethical. He's had irregular behavior around Zazrit that leads me to suspect emotional compromise.
Emotional compromise.
I don't know what we want to do with it, but we do have a responsibility to discuss and determine what is going on. I would like at some point to include the captain in that conversation, but I would also like to check my intuitions against people that I trust.
Doctor, have you noticed any irregular behavior as well?
His behavior at our interview with Zazrit was within the bounds of what I associate with our Captain Martinez, but what you described before you arrived in the shuttle bay, that surprised me.
Was this from earlier with Zazrit? Oh, yes.
What he wanted you all to do.
Oh, yes.
Was he joking?
No, he was very serious. He wanted me to perform a mind meld with someone against their will while they were unconscious.
That's dangerous to you, isn't it?
Yes, and it is not ideal, nor is it ethical. And I must admit, I was also concerned and surprised that the captain would suggest such an action.
Did you talk him out of it, or did he change his mind, or what happened?
Commander Rue and I both had a very thorough discussion with him in the turbo lift, and after Commander Rue exited the conversation, I also was able to talk him out of doing this procedure.
Exited the conversation?
I wouldn't be a part of something like that.
Glad to hear it.
What would the crew think of their captain?
It is not logical behavior to both want to gain someone's trust and gain their alliance to Starfleet, and then also want to violate their mind. Those two
I understand
ideas, those two
someone
actions.
wanting to hug someone and wring their neck at the same time.
He's making an awfully hard sell. And this guy got under his skin long before he knew about even the possibility of Zados.
I think he might be being naive to hope for the best, but I kind of wish I could.
Well, however one hopes, the question of how one treats a potential asset, that is not, I think, the central issue here.
What do you believe is the central issue, Commander?
Whether we anticipate that his commands might be cause for concern moving forward. If it's not, he's our captain.
If he seems like he's going to put someone at risk like that, I won't be a party to it. But what I've seen from him, he still seems like our captain.
I agree, but I also want to point out one thing. You both have said you would not be a party to his actions, but as his senior officers, we must be a party to it. Whether it means to support him in his actions or to advise him against it and prevent him from causing damage, we are always a party to it. And you, as the senior medical officer, you have the power to take him out of commission if you see fit.
There's
not have a
not
choice.
any evidence of a health issue. He's not ill as far as we can tell. He's making bad decisions, and that is not the place of a chief medical officer.
I agree. I
I think it'll save some lives. I might sense some fever. But I don't think we're there yet.
I agree. I think if he should stop listening to the advice of his senior officers, then we should be very worried. But until then, we can all keep a watchful eye of our captain.
As is our duty. I'm gonna talk to him. I'm going around behind his back. I'm going to do it to his face. Thank you.
We'll cut to the scene on the bridge now. Sage, you're going through all of the data that Jiv has been sending you, and as you're processing it, you're seeing a lot of his conclusive results coming back, and it starts to map out in front of you some of his conclusions as the turbolift doors open, and then the unmistakable heavy thudding of the Tellarite coming over to you with a swift stride. He leans just past you and stares intently at the computer screen and goes, "Are you seeing this?" And he just runs his finger across the screen and he goes, "Talon was right. It's that damn pull. And if it's messing with the transporters, I mean, this could just be the beginning. It might be messing with warp fields. This could be messing with subspace.
The entire ship might be compromised. Anything within a area of the anomaly might be affected, whether it be planets or ships passing by. I mean, Starfleet needs to know about this immediately. Everyone needs to know about this.
He rubs his head and he's just like, I can't even quantify what it would take to do something like this.
And if it just keeps getting worse, and I mean, it's just a domino effect. The more anomalies that happen, the more this is going to happen. Like, how do we even begin to fix it? Can we compensate for?
It's possible.
For what it's caused?
It's possible, yes. We got some time before we run into these bastards that we're trying to catch up to, so with this information, I might be able to make some adjustments now that I see exactly what the interference is.
And also, the farther we're away from it.
I'm going to say we should probably hold off on site-to-site transports and use only the transporter pad to and fro. Okay.
Do we need to do a diagnostic for all of the ship's sensors and computers? I mean, if it's causing this and this in the transporters, what is it causing for the rest of the ship?
Well, we don't have time for that now, but yeah, I think what I need to do is re-examine all the... It's entirely possible that at this level, if it's manipulating physics at this level across this kind of span in space, I mean, there might come a day where we come out of warp in another system, or Sage, it's entirely possible you could plot the best possible course and despite all the efficiency of Sally Ride's deflector shield, we could fly straight through a star. If this continues to advance like this, I mean, this is fundamentally changing the gravitational constant of the entire quadrant. If it's affecting our transporters, I don't know what this could mean. Right now, it's little, but you guys watched it pull a moon into a planet, and we just watched it affect an entire solar system, even if it's small. I'm gonna need Talon to look at this.
And
I'm almost certain I can get the transporters working again. It'd take not too long, but if this gets any worse, this could mean devastation for any ship traveling through space.
We need to notify Starfleet. We need to notify everyone. Like, this affects everyone.
Yeah. I'll notify the captain. I mean, poor bastard's probably going to bed right now. I'm gonna have to wake him up.
I feel like this takes priority.
I feel like you might be right.
Has it affected anything that we've transported? I mean, obviously it's affected Ensign McGregor. But any things that have been transported from cargo bay to cargo bay, like, has on a molecular level, anything that we are coming in contact with, like, what if it's affecting everything?
Well, you know what I've noticed? That ever since we went to warp and left the proximity of the Halleck system, transporter has been operating under normal parameters. So I don't know if it's localized. I don't know. But whenever we encounter the phenomenon, it seems like it plays havoc with our systems on a very small scale. We may have missed it the first time when you guys had that little encounter at Citrian.
And we were very lucky since we were transporting so much.
Yeah, it may not have affected it then, which is unusual because you guys were in the middle of a moon falling out of the damn sky. I don't know how this behaves. I don't know how it works. But I do know conclusively after these diagnostics that that's what's in play with our transporters.
Well, we were mostly shuttling back and forth. The people that were transported.
You're in mid-sentence when all of a sudden you hear the ensign at the helm go, Commander, we're coming up on a vessel.
Notify the captain immediately. I call captain.
As you call the captain, Jiv gets on the overhead and says, "Senior officers to the bridge." You all hear, just as you're drifting off, Martinez.
Can I put shields up? I'm putting shields up. I'm not allowed to do that, am I? Can I do that?
I mean, if you are senior officer, technically Jiv could give that order if you wanted to go to yellow alert, but no.
I mean, we're encountering a vessel in warp 9.
That would be Jiv's call because he's senior officer on bridge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shiv, let's go to yellow alert. Shields up? I don't know. Suggestions?
What kind of ship is it, ensign?
Can I scan? Or do I know?
Yeah.
Do I see it? I'm in warp?
Well, you're at the engineering
tell me.
station. You're at the engineering station, so we'll let this ensign roll.
Okay.
Who wants to assist with Sally Ride? This is a difficulty 1.
Okay, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Sensor science.
Yes.
Crit.
Woo!
Okay. You guys are well outside of standard sensor range at warp to be able to detect what the ship is. It is an Orion Raider.
Of course it is. How many difficult? Or it was difficulty 1.
What's that? Difficulty was 1. Yeah.
How many success?
Did you get?
1.
1 from you and 2 from you. So 2 momentum.
2 momentum.
Woohoo! Okay.
We gained 2 momentum?
Yes, we gained 2
wow.
momentum.
Jiv steps
Fantastic.
down and slides into center chair and says, "When we get within system range, I want you to take us out of warp." And you hear the
Yes, sir.
ensign say,
Oh, sorry. I'm not at the.
"No, you can though. You can get up and go straight to the helm station."
Give him a goof.
As you go over to the helm station, the ensign immediately just relieves herself. She gets up and swivels the chair and steps aside. As you sit down and sort of, you guys are going to have to get used to the nautical terminology because I won't. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Thank you, Ensign.
Okay.
You are
so,
relieved.
Yeah. So, ensign.
Ensign kicking out the ensign.
You slide into the chair. Sure enough, you guys come out of warp just as senior officers are all reporting to the bridge. You all trickle into the state and onto the bridge just in time to see Sally Ride coming out of warp.
Yellow alert, Captain.
Yes, yellow alert. What is happening?
Yellow
Why
alert.
are we here this
got?
early? Status report.
I'm not sure if this is the ship that we're chasing, Captain, but
You see on an enhanced screen, you do see in the distance an Orion Raider.
is this the same one that we've
kind
been
of range?
chasing? Oh no, this is not the.
You're gonna have to run a scan before you get any kind of
I don't
information
know if
like
it's the
that.
trail we've
Let's
been
run.
following.
Let's run a scan. Let's get the specs on
It's at
this
long.
thing.
It's at extreme range right now. You guys are well out of range. So go ahead, Talon, if you want to make your roll.
I have a question though. What time is it? Like how far into that?
We're sleepy.
Right.
I was going to get to that in a second because
Okay.
I'm going to reward you back 1 power to
okay.
Sally
So we
Ride's
haven't
warp
gone.
engine. No, it's been almost 2 hours.
Oh, interesting.
Almost 2 hours, and you guys come out of warp. You caught up to.
They slowed down.
Yeah.
We are at 9 power.
So, go ahead and make your scan, Talon.
Okay.
If
Reason science.
Yep, reason science. Difficulty is going to be 2 at this range.
Lieutenant Commander, what can you tell us about that ship?
A lot.
It was 3. I'm reducing it to 2. How many successes you got?
I got 1 crit success and a 2.
Okay.
So you're in your
So-
focus. So 2 crits, right?
And
Yeah?
2.
Is that-
Yeah.
Well,
So your
using your
focus,
focus,
that's 2 crits.
Yeah, okay.
So
Wow.
that's 4 and
4
5 from
successes.
Sally. Oh wow.
And
so
5 from the Sally.
we're
So
full up.
We're
y'all
maxed out.
juice up on some
We're full up.
momentum
We
in
get
this.
some
we know
bonus.
everything about this ship. We are one with this ship.
Yeah, we're one with the ship.
Yeah.
What do we get for being one with the ship and spending bonus momentum on being one with the ship?
Yep.
Okay. Sally Ride, scanning the Orion Raider, you detect that it is in fact the Orion Raider at the other end of the Ion Trail. This is the droid you were looking for. Oh my God, a Star Trek reference or Star Wars reference in Star Trek.
The good news is that it's nowhere near the neutral zone, Captain.
No,
so
you
at
guys
least
are far.
we have that. We have that going
Yeah.
for us. But I have no idea why
great.
it's dropped out of warp.
So here's what sensors will tell you. The ship's registry is the Vaza. It is an Orion Raider,
BACCA?
VAZA,
Okay.
the Vaza.
Baza.
It has a healthy array of disruptor banks. and shields that are just as comparable to the Sally Ride shields
Yeah.
that are not up.
Okay. We're in business.
This ship looks like, on the outside from the scan, it looks like it's a clunker. It looks like an Orion Raider that's been kind of rejiggered to be a much to basically do deep space missions. It looks like it can operate just from a scan. It looks like this ship, typical Orion Raiders, they don't wander too far from like a mothership or a think of it like Buccaneers. How Buccaneers would basically sail out from islands and attack ships that had anchored, and that's how they kind of got their prizes. Typically, Orion Raiders don't venture too far from a home base, so to speak. This Orion Raider looks like it's been geared up to basically be a generalized deep space transport that's been armored up and weaponized. It looks like it could definitely pose a threat to the Sally Ride if it was at full power.
I was gonna say it's a polished turd.
Yeah. However,
Thing to say.
it is at a full stop right now. Its shields are down, and you are detecting Orion life signs on board, as well as a few other life signs.
Can we, from the same roll, can we know how many life signs?
And can we see if there's any?
There were 27 crew by Zazrit's count, so
And
we'll see.
about half of them were
Most of them,
Loyal.
it was scattered
12
Orions.
loyal, 15 disloyal.
Most of them are Orions. Most of them. You detect. I'll go ahead and give
Can
you.
we? Oh, sorry.
I'll go ahead and give you the information that's that with that scan. I'll tell you the life forms on board. You're detecting a couple of Ferengi. You're definitely detecting the presence of a Gorn life sign.
yeah.
You detect a Vulcan,
Oh,
and you detect a bunch of Orions.
and
Nobolian?
no Bolians.
No Bolian.
Did we get a number
Oh,
on
that's
the
right,
Orions?
Captain.
What's that?
What's
Did we
his
get a
face
number
was-
on the Orions?
It seems
Have they,
the-
picked off some of them?
Yes, it does look like Zazrit's original counting is probably off by 2 or 3. It looks like there's less people on board alive than
Okay.
originally he
A little
told you.
too loyal, I suspect.
And
right, so
any
are
other
we
information would you like to get from that scan?
Anything beyond the disruptors?
No. Nope, its only weapon is a disruptor bank.
Okay.
But I will tell you, from the initial scan, that disruptor bank is pretty heavy duty.
Yeah.
It looks like it's comparable to what maybe a Klingon would have on a bird of prey.
And we are out of sensor range. Like they can't detect us at all. We're way far.
Theoretically, that seems about right. But if you want more information, you're going to have to burn some momentum
Let's
for it.
burn the momentum.
It's just
What else do we need, though?
Here's what I want to
know.
know.
Tell me.
we need.
Is there anything
got?
wrong with their ship?
Yeah, and I
Is it
wanted a similar question.
Dismantled?
probably
Is it chugging
power.
along? Like
why
what's
power
The
levels
warp
down?
core looks like it's offline.
offline? What does that mean? Not
it means
working?
it
or
basically they've
tr-
lost all warp power. So they can't travel at warp speed right now.
So they're just on impulse power right now?
Right now, they're at a dead stop. Talon, you could probably extrapolate just from what you're witnessing in the scan that they probably didn't. Either they came up with either they have a very good reason for doing it, but it looks like they just came to a dead stop out of warp.
Their warp core went offline. It would take a million years to get to the Klingon neutral zone at impulse power. They're
Yeah.
probably waiting for a tow.
Or working on the warp core to get it back
Wow.
online.
you get one more free question because you spent momentum. You detect the warp core is offline.
Do we know if their weapons are?
Oh wait, the full question was what's not working on the
Yeah.
ship. Is that
Yeah.
right? Okay. So their warp core is offline, their communications are down, their sensors are down, their weapons are offline, and their shields don't seem to be up either. It looks like this ship basically was probably at a full run and then just fell flat on its face.
Oh,
Second officer to the rescue.
it's a sitting quack quack.
It looks like
That's done.
it looks like basically after it came out of warp, it could be close to being adrift.
Oh, this is great, guys.
So I wonder if those 2 to 3 missing life forms are the mutineers, and maybe they were overpowered, and I don't know.
It's hard to say.
I suspect that's probably true.
Could be.
Talon.
It could be. Yeah. And maybe in their unmutineering, they took the systems down. We know that the the second in command was loyal and had the codes, so they could take those offline as an active
Yeah.
defense.
Although
idea.
Zazrit suspected that he would be in the brig.
Right.
As a point of clarification,
Yes.
we're sure that they're not working and not that they're just down.
That would be another point of momentum
Might be worth it.
for another question.
We're doing it. We are
Yeah,
down
I
to
think
4
it's-
momentum.
You didn't ask what our other question was.
Because, like, we were asking
Oh,
what
yeah.
Oh, that's right. You get one more question.
Yeah.
That's right. You get one more question.
Put it back.
So
Then that.
you want to find out.
wanted to know-
Offline or offline?
We asked if it was not working, but we want to know if it's not working.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they turn it off, or
There
is it-
doesn't appear to be any apparent damage to the warp core at all. In fact, it doesn't look like there's any real internal damage to the
Right, there
ship.
wouldn't be. That
It looks
doesn't
like
tell
the
us.
systems they're all offline. There's nothing to indicate that any damage has been done.
So it's either a trap or the
Sabotage.
first or the second in
Yeah.
command.
Yeah, and we have no way of telling which one it is.
Yeah.
But the good news is that we're far better at long range than they are. Disruptors only work up close. Our phaser arrays are good if we get, medium, one would say, but we could take pot shots at them if we needed to.
And
With sensors offline too, it's worth noting they do not know you guys are here.
Yeah, and communication is down, so there's
I'm
no.
operating on the assumption that, like, even if they were working,
It's a trap.
you can
Could
still
be,
take
yeah.
pot shots.
Yeah, no, my point is that you have the elements of surprise
Yeah.
if it is how it looks.
Shiv,
Probably.
Communication is down, so there's
Yes,
no way we
Captain.
can hail them.
Shiv, what's the update on the transporters?
Yeah, the transporters. Well, we were right. That gravitational effect that you guys have encountered at Citrian 7 and what we saw at Halix, it's the culprit. I'm still doing a lot of extrapolation on what the magnitude of it is, but I can tell you now, you give me 5 minutes and I can write an algorithm like that and have the transporters working properly again. I don't know for how long. I'm gonna have to constantly run diagnostics on the transporter
see.
systems to make sure we're all safe.
So once you throw up that algorithm, the transporters will, in theory, work, but you don't know for how long before they revert to their defected state again, or
If my theory is correct and the data that Talon supplied is true, and it all seems to be factoring in completely, then what I can tell you is it's very unlikely that these transporters will ever stay normalized so long as this anomaly is taking place. So I'm going to have to constantly keep the transporters.
just in the universe is affecting us at this far away a range, or is this something that has?
I don't know.
Okay.
When we were at the Halix system, it was definitely affecting us. When we left the Halix system, it was still affecting us. The transporters have normalized since then. I can compensate for what we've experienced, but it may happen again. I just want to make sure it doesn't.
I see.
We'll be able to figure out more at a starbase. For now, we have an
now?
Orion Raider.
Right. We
For now, I can give you transport.
Okay. Yeah, you've got 5 minutes. Thank you.
I'll be down in transporter room 2.
Great.
He goes to the turbo lift and once again vanishes.
We also still have our shuttles that we're able to use.
But in 5 minutes, we'll have transporter capability. My plan is this. We get Zazrit to join us here on the bridge, supply us with these codes to continue to dismantle the shields, just in case they come back up, just in case we're spotted. And if we can lock onto their signals, we can beam aboard his Orion crew. And hopefully they'll have the information that we need, and if not, then we need to find a way to get that information out of their systems.
My only concern, Captain, is if the shields are down now and we beam over and then all of a sudden the shields go back up, everyone who's beamed over on the away team will be trapped on the Orion ship. What we need, I feel like we need to have a shuttle out as well, just in case, or at least get the Sally Ride closer to be able to.
It's really risky too, though, Ensign.
We'll have to be closer to transport anyway.
Exactly. How
Right.
how do you all want to play this?
Captain, were you proposing an away team or a preemptive evacuation of their ship?
Evacuation of their ship.
Oh, never mind.
If I can avoid an away team at all possible, if our transporters are working.
The information's on their database, not on the crew's heads. I think we probably have to take the ship.
Take the ship?
So there are 28 souls aboard an Orion Raider.
Yeah.
We have 152 crew.
Yeah, but I don't want to lose any lives just because of numbers.
Our ships are far better matched in ship combat.
Yeah.
A
So
boarding
we-
party will end them cleanly, with a potential for far fewer casualties aboard the Sally and aboard the Vaza.
So I was thinking that if we engaged in ship combat and dismantled the ship from the outside, that then we wouldn't have to potentially send over an away team.
We'll have to either way if we want to secure the database.
Of course, but I figured that if we could ensure that they are down for the count, that their shields can't come back up in case we do beam over there, when we do beam over there, rather.
So was
Sir,
the plan to beam
multitask.
over all 28 crew members to a cargo bay?
Possibly just, my hope is that one of those crew people will have obtained the data that we need, Zazrit's information that he needs, and that we could beam over perhaps the enemy combatants into our brig, and then therefore the ship is Zazrit's again, and we can beam back and forth and get the information that we need, and he can have his ship, and we can have that information, and it's done. So maybe we can lock on to the mutineers,
I don't
and
think
it'll
we'll
be
able
a
to
clean fight.
tell which ones
We
are
would
which.
only be able to
and I don't
determine
know
the
that we
life
want
forms.
to rely on our transporters for that long.
Okay.
We can go ship to ship, see if they're really sitting ducks like this. If they are. If they aren't, we'll blast out their weapons and go aboard.
Sounds like you're itching for a fight, Commander Rue.
Sir, I don't really know how else we accomplish this particular end.
Well, we have transporters. I feel like the answer should always be transporters first, and then worst case scenario, last ditch effort, plan Z, then we have to put bodies in danger. But if you feel that our best
Sir-
course of action is to head over there with an away team and kick some ass. Okay, all right. I hear you. Just wanted to check with Jiv to see how well the transporters would be working.
It would
If-
be a lot easier to board with those.
If the problem would be, and again, you mentioned their crew number, 28, right? 28. If the problem is we couldn't tell the difference, let's just start beaming people over into brigs until we hear from one of them, hey, you've got all the bad guys, or hey, I've still got friends over there. Help them out. Is that a possibility as well?
It seems like we could put them in our brigs without compromising ourselves.
I'm going to reward myself a threat.
Of course.
I mean, I feel like our transporters are capable of beaming all 28 at a very, with just a few tries, to where if we wanted to just beam all of them over into a cargo bay or into the brig, we would have all of them, and then we could just beam over to the ship, get the data that we need. I mean,
Well, my worry is like, well, go ahead, Talon.
I just want to help us decipher this. What is the end goal?
Zadis.
But what specifically is the end
We
goal?
need information aboard the database.
Yep.
Aboard the ship in the computer database.
What information do we need?
The location
The Commodore.
of Malgog's fleet. That's where he has Zadis. He has 6 ships. We're trying to get those.
The answer, Lieutenant Commander Talon, is we don't know exactly which information is there, but what we were told by Zazrit is exactly what Commander Rue said.
So Zazrit says that if we give him help him get access, regain access to
Correct.
his ship's database, he can access the information of the location of Malgog's fleet.
Yes, and we would have
Which
to trust him. Yeah.
we could then take out the threat of a raider who is trafficking in biogenic weapons, and also hopefully find Zadis.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Captain, if for some reason we felt the need that we did not trust Zazrit to get the data that we needed, I feel like I've been tinkering with the dump shuttle in the cargo bay and made myself familiar with Orion computer systems. I feel I could probably hack his ship. I feel like I'm very capable of getting the information that we need.
That's good to know. Well, worst case scenario is that the information doesn't even exist and Zazrit was playing us from the beginning. So again, if that's a possibility, then I wouldn't even want to risk sending you over there to hack their systems unless their ship is completely empty and it's totally safe.
May I?
All right. Thank you.
It sounds like we have almost come to an agreement. Perhaps the plan B could be that the ship's database could be hacked as a plan B. But it sounds
Remotely?
like
Can we do it remotely? Can we do that hacking remotely from this ship?
If we got close enough, could we do that
I
remotely?
think we would have to get on the
find
ship.
out once we get into
systems
range.
are down at the moment. We'd have to be in range. If their whole systems are down, their sensors, nothing's working. It seems to where, if we were able to catch them by surprise,
We need to be on the ship to use the command codes to activate the computer
And to
again.
access the
So I think
database.
we need to be. It sounds.
What's that?
We need to be on their ship to turn the lights on. Otherwise, their computer
command
is
code.
not going to give us anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Zazrit told
regardless,
us,
we have
so
to get
that's the information.
Zazrit with the codes in his brain onto the ship, right? So if we were to neutralize the 28 people by beaming them,
So codes could definitely be communicated to the other ship
right?
if Zazrit wanted to do that.
Right,
yeah.
but we don't know. We can't talk to them to do that. We
That's
can't-
correct.
communications
Yeah,
are
so
down.
we have to
Communications
go
are
on
We
the
have
ship.
to either get them all off and go on the
Right.
ship, or
So it sounds like
Either
our
way,
go
we
on
go
and take
into
it by
close
force.
range
Yeah.
to beam in one direction or another, see how our transporters do,
Can I
and
suggest
make sure either way that before transporters go out, if indeed they do, that we get at least some people, including Zazrit, aboard.
We can
I'm
have
rewarding myself 2 threat.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
I just want to synthesize all the ideas because I feel like we have a plan here. It's just we keep talking over it. So, plan A could be that we transport the 28 life forms into a bay.
Yep.
Or into the brig.
Yep.
cargo bay. Put
Because we
force field up.
Yep.
can't figure out who's loyal and who's not.
Correct.
We have Zazrit beam down with Rue and with the security away team to ensure that Zazrit will not turn on us.
Correct.
To the bridge so that he can access the database, get us the information that we need, and then possibly have a shuttle standing by as a backup.
I'm allergic to threat.
That sounds like the plan, Talon. That's what we're going to do.
All right.
Let's go.
Go ahead and-
I can get us in transporter range, Captain, on your command.
let's do it.
Okay,
go to red alert.
proceeding under half impulse, you move closer into range. On the view screen, as you get closer, you see this bulky-looking Orion Raider does, in fact, look like it has become adrift in space. It spent enough time offline with its impulse engines and stabilizers that it has actually started to tilt and list a little bit, as well as her bow has started to list, and she's basically, looks like she's starting a slow lateral spin. And nothing else has changed. Everything is offline. You are now in transporter range, and you hear Jiv say, "Captain, I got transporters up and running. She's as safe now as she's going to be, well, at least until the next time they decide to go crazy."
Shields are down. Step one of this plan was to get all 28 bodies off of that ship. Now, we could bring Zazrit up to the bridge or request his knowledge and ask him, hey, which one of these guys are bad guys?
Well,
So-
as of right now, the transporter's not going to be like, oh, that's Bob, that's
can't-
Gary. It's not going to. We can see the life forms.
We've got Ferengi life forms aboard, Gorn, right?
There's a single
Yeah,
Gorn.
officer.
the single one.
Single
so
Gorn
at
life form
least going
detected.
from there with okay,
Oh, that's true.
Zazrit, which of these guys are bad guys? Which of these guys are your crew? But that is factoring in that we would trust Zazrit still to his word. I mean, I feel like I kind of do. Should we do that just to lessen the amounts of bodies that we have to transport?
So you're saying
With the risk involved?
leave the ones that he knows
Yeah.
are loyal?
As a GM,
Yeah.
I'd say take a risk.
Yeah.
Take a risk, meaning trust Zazrit, or just
There's a
grab
moment,
everybody.
Martinez, sitting there as you're processing this information, and you hear this obnoxious voice in the back of your head, one that in your pursuit to become a captain of their own stature, who is separated away, one who's probably still carrying that horrible moment on their shoulders, staring down that lieutenant back at Starfleet Academy. You can't help but hear yourself ask the question, what would Kirk do?
And I know what he would do. Risk is our business. It's what we do. I gotta trust Zazrit. I'm gonna trust him. I have to trust him. Let's go ahead and ask him which of his, just from the species body signatures that we get, if that helps at all, which one of those are his crew, loyal to him, and which one of them are not.
We know the Gorn is his first officer. And
Great. So we're picking up the Gorn. Who else are we getting? Let's ask him. Let's.
So you guys have
communicate with him.
Zazrit brought to the bridge?
Yes.
A few moments pass.
Or even just communicating to him, like, as he's walking up to the bridge, but just like, okay, Zazrit, tell us who,
Captain, can I just clarify something?
Yeah.
Are you intending to transport the loyal ones?
No.
So
Leaving those on
okay,
board.
Leaving them on board.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. There's how many bodies again? 28?
28.
And 15 of them are
At least
mutineers?
15 of them are
How many can we take at
You
once?
said 15, 12 was the ratio?
yeah.
Okay, so 12 are loyal and 15 are not.
As far as we know.
15 of them are
that could have
loyal,
changed.
12 are not loyal.
Oh, okay,
How
great.
many
So
can we take at once?
13, 13, 12. There's 24 because there was 15 loyal crew members and 12 mutineers and and the number that Zazrit gave you is off by 4.
Okay.
We don't know if the Gorn is loyal, though. I mean, obviously the codes were put in somehow.
I'm giving the group a fair heads up. I'm moments away from rewarding myself 3 more threat.
And we need to beam.
How many can we transport at once?
How many can we transport at once?
Transporter pad will accommodate 6 people at a time.
Okay.
So we need 2 trips of transporter pad, 6 and 6, and I need Zazrit to tell me which bodies to grab.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and supply you with information that you, as a Starfleet captain, would know. Zazrit's not going to be able to tell you who's who. He will be able to tell you different species, the ones that are unique. He can tell you that probably, but there's so many Orions on board, it's very unlikely he's going to be able to tell you how to differentiate them.
Gotcha. Let's
Yeah.
start with the unique species.
Okay. So Zazrit's brought to the bridge. A few moments pass as you guys are closing in range. As the doors open, Zazrit steps onto the bridge and takes a look around, and that swagger disappears as he spots his ship on the view screen. And he steps down, and security has to keep up with him as he moves over towards the view screen and starts staring at it intently.
All right, it's ready time.
He just says, "That's what I thought." All right. So we're going?
Yeah, who do we need to grab? Let's go.
Grab.
Before we head over there, Zazrit, I don't have time to explain. God damn it. Just tell me who we need to grab. Who are your mutineers? Start with the species. Which ones?
We're transporting to the brig.
To make your ship nice and easygoing when we go over there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great.
You want me to give you names?
No, give me species. Gorn is your guy, right?
Gorn's my first officer.
Ferengi. How many Ferengi do we have aboard?
There's 2 Ferengi
Are
on
they
board.
with you or are they not with you?
They weren't with me.
Okay, great. So that's 2 of the first group of 6. And is that it? Were there any other unique species on board other than Orion?
Should be a Vulcan. Did you detect a Vulcan?
Yeah.
You see when he says that, you hear an urgency in his voice.
Vulcan, with you or not with you?
With me.
Okay, great. So we're leaving the Vulcan. So just grab another random 4 Orion
All right, Captain.
is what we're going to do. Until hopefully...
Transporting the rest of them will be in danger, so we'll want to go as fast as we can, and I'll be standing by with medical.
Hold on. You're not going to start transporting people over to your ship. The moment they know you're here, they're just going to start executing prisoners. They're going to have a hostage situation on your hand in no time.
We can't communicate with them.
Communications
Got any
are down.
ideas?
We take the ship. I didn't come all this way just so I could watch you guys play Starfleet. We take the ship. If you want to see your crew member again, we take the ship.
Now, what's to keep them from killing hostages as soon as they understand that the ship is being taken?
Can they see us right now?
No.
No.
Then let's get on board there and shoot them up. So this is where you Starfleet fail utterly. Give me a phaser, send me over there. I'll do it for you. All I need to do is let my crew out.
This is the captain's plan. This is what we're doing.
We got a layout of the ship. Where would your crew be? Where would the hostages be?
You don't have a layout of the ship.
We have got a scan of the ship, don't we?
Sure, you got a scan of the ship.
Yeah.
I don't know where my crew is being kept. There's a brig, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're all going to be in there.
So, 2 things. If the power is down, it is safe to assume that either your crew was able to overtake the ship, and they're a sitting duck is
It's
the
far
phrase
more
that we
likely
use.
that my code's finally kicked in.
That your code's finally kicked in.
Yeah. It's entirely possible they jumped the code and that's how they were to get to warp 7. When I left behind, I left a bomb in the computer that was going to shut everything down.
Gotcha.
It looks like that's what's happened. And if it's a trap, well, then you're rid of me.
All right, it looks like I have no choice. Fine. We're going over there.
Can I have my whip back?
What?
My whip.
Oh.
Yeah. That's really going to help? Fine. Yeah, get him his whip.
No,
That's
we're
him
going
his
into
whip
a
and his
combat
disruptor.
situation. You think I'm not going to ask for my weapons back?
He gets his
Fine.
whip, he gets his disruptor.
He had a Klingon disruptor, a whip, and a knife.
Yep. Yeah.
What are they doing in that interrogation?
Talon, would you like
Yes.
to accompany us?
Yes, I would.
Okay, great.
All right, so let's just gear
It's
this
us
up.
4, and I need a security team of 2. Those are the 6 that are beaming over right now to his
Wait,
ship.
am I joining or?
You are staying.
I'm
Doctor,
staying?
you're staying.
I feel like I could, if I could get to a computer on the ship, I could get what we need.
Zazrit has
You'd
the
also be in
plans.
physical danger.
You
Just
would be in
case
physical
Zazrit-
danger?
Well, just in case Zazrit turns on us, might be a good backup plan to have a potential hacker. It could be a
It's too dangerous. No, it's too dangerous. Zazrit's not hearing any of this, by the way. No.
Zazrit's just listening to
I
this
don't
going,
want to
oh,
say
no,
out
okay.
loud that I don't trust him, but I
Right,
can't.
same here,
I
yeah.
can't say it out loud.
He knows I don't trust him.
I'm awarding
'Cause-
myself 3 threat.
Captain, whatever you. Yes.
Captain
you say it for
Martinez,
me the moment you
Commander
need me.
Rue, Lieutenant Commander Talon, a security detail of 2 officers, and Zazrit. Stupid, sexy Zazrit. That's our group of 6. We're being over to his ship right now. So Zazrit, what part of the ship do we need to beam over? 2.
Well, if they just lost all power, I guarantee you a bulk of them are going to be in engineering right now trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
So not there.
I
Let's go
say
to the
let's
brig.
beam.
We'll see if there are friendlies over there. Free them. Then we'll have a larger squad. Let's go.
Your commander knows exactly what's up.
Well, tactical.
All right. Transporter room. Let's go.
As y'all are walking down to the
Captain, you call for me
transporter
the minute
room.
You need me.
If we see
Okay.
a computer worth hacking, we'll call for you.
Thank you. Thank you,
You
Commander.
guys both helplessly watch as the away team leaves the bridge of the ship.
Helplessly. They're behind the whole ship.
I know what it's like not to be sent along.
Captain, there's nothing less helpful
Let
than a
him have
doctor
that
kid on
feeling.
the wrong ship.
There's something. I don't like.
I'm just saying that's definitely the feeling that's probably sinking into your characters right now because you want to do something.
Off you
but
go.
there is a place for you if
Of
that's
course.
the captain's order. You know what I mean?
Of course.
It's up to you guys.
Off you go. Come back
What?
safe.
Nothing.
It's all up to you guys. All right. So you guys head down to transporter room. As y'all are walking down there at a good clip, Zazrit looks over at you, Rue, and he says, I have to admit, I'm looking forward to seeing you in action.
Keep your eyes on the work to be done.
Easy, Zazrit. Easy.
Who are you jealous of?
And we'll cut to you guys beaming over to the Orion Raider. Sam is like, I've been waiting all my life for this moment. When you guys beam in, as that blue glow begins that curtain parts and you materialize inside the corridor of this ship, first of all, the entire ship kind of it's kind of funny, it's stereotypical, but it is kind of got a greenish glow to it. It looks like the interior kind of mirrors the exterior a little bit. There just seems to be fondness for green with the Orions, apparently. But what you do notice the moment you all beam in, as the 2 security officers ready phaser rifles and they're like looking around, immediately establishing a perimeter behind you guys hear shouting going on all over the corridors. It's almost as if the crew's in a panic right now. And you can hear just easily with universal translators, people barking orders. You hear confusion. It looks like this place is in total disarray. And as you all beamed in and everyone takes positions and pulls phasers, you see Zazrit pull out that clip and just hold it off to the side, doesn't activate the whip. And then with the other hand, he doesn't go for his disruptor. With the other hand, he goes for the dagger and just pulls it out. Did you give him his disruptor? Because I heard you
I
say...
gave him this disruptor and the whip. I didn't give him
Did you
his
give him
dagger. No.
Okay, he pulls the disruptor then.
Cool.
He's got gun, whip. And Zazrit looks around and he goes, we're really close to the brig. This way.
Party might already be in progress.
All right, everybody, it's time for us to roll some dice.
All right.
All right, so I'm going to need everybody to make a fitness security roll.
So, in general,
Or
I
actually,
ha-
a control security roll. Control security.
just so people know, I have a talent called collaboration, Anyone who wants to spend momentum, an ally can attempt a task with my discipline and one of my focuses. So if you ever need a security 5, spend 1 momentum, and you can have it from me.
Heck yeah.
Also, quick heads up. Since Martinez is on this, you are considered commanding officer of this away mission. If anyone attempts to use the direct action, you can only use it once per scene. There's an action where you can basically tell someone to take, like if combat breaks out, you can give somebody a second turn. So if you like what you see Rue doing, you can say, hey, do that again.
Good.
All right.
And then how many times can that be used, what you described?
You can
Until we run out of momentum.
I would
Spend
like
momentum.
to do one of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I go
Do it
ahead
when you
and
need to do
that?
it.
So we're spending 1 momentum. We're down to 4.
So that I can use
Lieutenant Commander
their
Trelawn is using
security.
their security. So your security's not a 5. Instead of a, what is it normally?
2.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Alright.
that's
And you can attempt one of my focuses, which is athletics. So
Okay. This is, by the way, a stealth check. So make those rolls that I called. You got 1 success. All right. the cackle of a bloodthirsty Rue.
okay.
All right. What'd you guys get?
I got 3 success. So 1 is a success, and the other is a critical success.
Okay.
So 3.
1, 4 successes.
Wow.
I critted twice.
So wait, so we got our momentum back, I'm assuming.
Yes. I'll give you that.
Maxed out? Oh, we
so-
maxed?
Yeah. So it's a contested roll. So as you guys are moving through the corridor, one of the things you notice is even with those heavy boots, Zazrit does actually move about as quietly as you guys do. He's not ninja. He's making noise on the grating, but he is moving pretty stealthily. Rue, just from looking at Zazrit, his entire body language has changed. He's kind of had that swagger, that cowboy swagger, whatever the hell. He looked like somebody who was just used to throwing his weight around. But now, you know, just as somebody who has combat training, he is experienced.
I saw it
But-
before when I talked to him.
Right. You can tell he's like a panther on the hunt right now. As y'all are creeping down the corridor, everyone basically, as you get to the edges of the corridor, you come around the corner just in time to see 2 Orions look in your direction. And they spot you because they hear Martinez.
Man, that's a harsh group stealth check.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're going into combat, guys.
Let's go.
The 2 Orions spot you and goes, they start shouting, and 2 disruptors come out, and I'm giving you guys initiative. So, we're doing like this. It's 2 versus 6, so this is not looking good for them, but weapons are probably about to be fired. So, I need you guys to decide who's going first. Who would like to take the first attack in combat? Zazrit is technically on your side, so you can decide when he goes to.
It's going to be, let's make him go first. Because I don't recognize these Orions.
Right.
If anybody's going to recognize them, it's going to be him.
Great
Okay.
call.
Whether they're loyal or not.
Okay,
to him.
Zazrit will definitely go first
Great.
then.
Great.
All right.
If he fires, we fire.
Into
That's
it.
the policy. If he fires at an Orion, we
Zazrit,
fire at
I'm
an
not
Orion.
going to have you. Zazrit is shooting to kill. He is not shooting for
Discuss that.
control. Don't worry, I'm not going to penalize you guys. If you take lethal action, you immediately generate threats. I'm not going to penalize you for what an NPC is choosing to do. I will not be mean. Oh, Shiza. Zazrit has a focus in infiltration. Never mind. He is moving like a damn ninja.
Wow.
All right, here we go. He is making an attack. Okay.
I think someone's dead.
Are they dead?
Oh my. Shit. That is a. Okay.
What was that face?
Super dead.
And he's using a disruptor pistol with a damage of 7 and a vicious of 1. And vicious. The attack inflicts X additional damage for each effect rolled. Okay.
He's aiming at my crew. He's dead.
So Zazrit leaps out, takes the aiming minor action, which I used to re-roll and got a critical success. You watch as Zazrit leaps out, pulls a disruptor. They go, ah! Do you see the shock and horror on their face? Clearly, these Orions recognize Zazrit immediately. And that's the last thing one of these Orions recognizes, as he is vaporized. Zazrit disintegrates him from about 20 feet away. You see the green bolt of a Klingon disruptor, and then the horrible scream, and no more Orion. No more nothing. Just a blackened mark where someone was standing.
Is that the same effect that we saw with Lynn Zadis?
No. not. It's a Klingon disruptor, so it might be different. But the disintegration effect at the end of a disruptor pistol, it was not the same. All right. It's going to be their action.
Nope.
However, you're going to spend momentum.
Nope.
What?
I have quick to action. It's free in the first round of combat.
Ah, okay. What are you doing? Tell me.
Melee.
20 feet. If you spend a momentum, I'll let you take 2 minor actions, and you can clear that distance instantly.
So I clear the distance with 1 minor action. I aim with a second minor action.
No. It's going to take a minor action to move, and then another. If you spend momentum, the 2 minor actions are going to get you to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I spend an additional minor action to aim, so I will be spending momentum with this, so I can proc my cautious.
So you're going to. Okay, cool.
I'm
So you're going to prop up more momentum, just get the aim action, and then you're going to hit him. Okay.
So we're down to 4.
And that means I'll get a reroll. Do I want an extra one for a hit? And I'm doing 1 more for the die.
Cool.
Okay, so
All right.
we're down to 3 momentum.
Yep, and 2 rerolls. So let's dance.
All right, so do it. So you're doing a melee action. It's going to be difficulty 1. You clear the distance, 20 feet. You guys watch Rue tear down that corridor, practically vaulting on those crutches faster than most people could run easily, unless they were supreme athletes. Rue closes the distance, and it's not just the speed in which Rue closes the distance, but seeing Rue vault towards it obviously rattles the Orion, doesn't know how to react to this. Watching his comrade get disintegrated out of pure fear, he locks up as he sees you coming at him. Go ahead and make your melee attack.
All right.
Difficulty is 1.
Yep.
I'm going to, actually, you know what? I'm going to spend
Yeah.
2 threat because I've got so much threat over here.
I know exactly how much threat you have. This is why
Yeah, I have a
momentum
pile
spent
of
like
threat.
a mobile.
So I'm going to spend a threat. I'm going to immediately increase the difficulty by 1. So it's difficulty 2.
All right.
So it's a little bit harder to hit him. All right,
I never take this for granted.
go for it.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
3. Okay, well, you hit, so throw down some damage.
All right, so that's a momentum back up.
And if I remember correctly, you were doing non-lethal. Is that correct? Or are
Yes,
you doing
I always
you
do
wanna-
non-lethal on
You want to feed the
crutches
GM more
unless I
threat? Are you
otherwise
sure? I'm
declare.
just asking. All right, cool. All right.
All right.
So go ahead and make a damage roll. Add your
Yeah.
security rating to
I have
that.
a total damage of 7 on this.
Okay. That's so to give you an idea of how hard Rue clubs, 7.
If I get any vicious. We'll see if I get
Yeah.
any vicious.
7 is the amount of damage the disruptor does base. So Sam's crutches charge up, and
So you punch like a gun. Huh.
Sam's crutches are pretty specialized.
I'm pretty specialized with my
Sam is
crutches.
specialized.
Yeah. All right. 2.
They are specifically designed for combat.
The crutches are
Is
just the
what
cherry
I'm
on top.
what I'm communicating is Sam's crutches are specifically designed for combat. They are not just normal crutches.
I do 6 damage to him and I knock him the frack down.
I'm going to spend 2 threat to shrug off the injury that you immediately caused him. Actually, I think it may be 3 threat.
Yeah, what up?
Nope, it's 2. All right. He is actually. You know what though?
All right.
I'm going to spend 4 threat because I can. So not only does he not take the injury, he doesn't go down.
All right.
He goes slamming back up against the bulkhead. Rue, you're actually kind of impressed with this guy. He took the hit and rolled with it. He ain't looking so good though. He
not
stumbles
impressed.
forward. You're gonna what?
I'm not impressed yet.
Okay.
But I will spend my determination
Okay.
for an additional task.
Okay. What's the what value are you tapping for your
I must
determination?
protect and shepherd my ship and its crew. I got crew right here.
That totally works.
Yep.
I'll let you burn it.
All right,
So
let's
you're
go.
gonna add 2. You're basically gonna take an extra action here.
Yep.
An extra task. All right. I'll let you do it.
All right.
Go.
I'm gonna spend a momentum for the extra die. I'm going to use a minor action to aim,
Okay.
and I'm going to roll this.
All right.
Just thwap him again. Difficulty
Yeah.
1 again, or difficulty 1, or are you gonna
No,
spend
the
threat
difficulty's
to?
1 here again. He's not
Yeah.
gonna burn any more threat.
Cool. And that's another 3 to hit.
So
He got 2.
All right.
So you're gonna hit him.
Get the momentum back, and more damage.
So 5s and 6s for damage.
No, because the difficulty was 1 and she got 3 successes.
But he got it too.
I do another 5 to him, and I once again knock him the frack down.
He is not spending that to stay uninjured. He actually, well, yeah, he can't. He crumples. When that second crutch slams into his body, he once again rebounds off the bulkhead and just pitches forward on the ground unconscious. He is out.
Good.
I am spending 2 momentum to create an advantage and call for reinforcements. As this
Sending him down, you guys.
as this round of combat comes to an end, Rue, as soon as you smash him down and he hits the floor, you hear "Hey!" And down the hallway, because the corridor, basically what you guys did is y'all saw him down the corridor, standing at the end of the corridor. When you reach the end of the corridor, Rue, as soon as he goes down, you look to your left, down the corridor to your left, and there's 2 more Orions with guns with disruptors drawn.
All right.
And it's their round now.
Yep, now it's theirs.
Unless
we want
you
to
want to
spend
burn
momentum
momentum to keep initiative.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Otherwise, they're going to shoot at Rue.
Goodbye, momentum. We've
Okay.
continued to keep
It's
initiative.
your action. So Rue has gone, and
It's true
Zazrit.
to keep the initiative if we want to do that.
Yeah.
So we're down to 3.
And I don't know that we can actually do the quick to action and the keep the initiative spend before they've gone at all. I don't think that's legal. So I
No,
don't think
it
we
is.
have the option.
Your trait allows you to do that. It allows you to bend it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will not say no to that.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the way normal combat functions through momentum spends is that you guys can keep the initiative for this round, and that's one of the reasons why Rue is what Rue is,
Absolutely.
and lets you bend it. So if that's incorrect, we'll correct it next time.
Cool. So
So who's going next?
who's going?
Zazrit and Rue already
Zazrit
went.
and Rue
It's
have already
down
gone,
to
so it has to be somebody
Martinez,
else.
Talon, or the 2 security officers that we have.
Yep. Unless you want to use your action to direct Rue to go again.
Yeah. Or am I gonna be able to get into melee easily, or? I
No,
have to actually shoot
you would
something?
have to clear the distance again. They're about 15 feet away.
All right, that's a lot of spend. I can always go from range. I do actually have a phaser,
Yeah,
theoretically.
you do, yeah.
Blasty. You get blasty.
I will say that, Rue, when you glance down that hallway, you do see the buzzing energy field of probably the brig. In other words, you're right in the hallway where the brig is. Like, it wasn't in the corridor. When you looked left and you saw the 2 guys aiming disruptors at you, to their side is clearly the brig. There's an energy field that's up right now.
So you could also direct Talon to start hacking on that while they shoot at me.
Wait, so is that within reach to be able to get hacked? Or you said it was down the
You
hallway?
could get up to the
Or direct Zazrit to unlock it or whatever.
If you want to burn momentum, you could get somebody that energy field to start working on it, but they'll be within like 5 feet of 2 Orions with the disruptors.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Nope.
We want to
Let's get the other 2 first.
care
I
of
want to
those,
take these
yeah.
guys out. Now, what would be the advantage of me directing
So-
Rue to fire their phaser as opposed to me firing my phaser or Talon firing her
Is
phaser?
closer, maybe?
So Rue, what you could do is if you direct Rue to attack again, what Rue could do as a minor action is use the charge ability on a phaser and do like a wide beam stun.
Because they're closer and we're like further
Rue's
back.
got-
Is that?
Let me put it this way: only Rue has seen that there's 2 guys at the end of this hall
okay,
coming
gotcha.
at you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Only
was
within their
that's-
eyesight.
that
got
was
it.
the relevant thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because Rue is at the end of the hallway because they cleared the distance. The next closest person is Zazrit, who's in the middle of closing the distance but could not get there as fast as Rue did.
So, like in story, how would Martinez, like, inspire?
I'd just call back.
Or,
We got another 2.
Or you also heard them say, hey, like you
oh,
heard them.
you would call back. We got another 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let that.
Great.
Yeah, totally. 2 more.
Can you take care of them? That's my inspirational.
I can certainly try.
Direct.
Okay, so you're gonna direct.
Yes.
All right, Rue. So you're gonna get to go a second time. You are. Direct. The action is available only to the character on each side of the opposing. Okay, with authority of commanding officer designed mission leader, the character nominates a single other character present, and the nominated character may immediately attempt a single task assisted by the commanding character.
Assist. That's groovy.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah. The direct
Assisted.
task may only be used once per scene. So you can direct Rue to go at him and give the assist.
That's what I'm gonna do. Can you take them out?
So Rue, you're pulling a phaser.
Do what you're gonna do, Rue.
All right, is that what you're doing? What are you
It's a
doing?
difficulty 2 unopposed roll. I would have to. I would actually have to spend momentum if I wanted to.
You have to draw. Okay, so
draw.
drawing the phaser is a minor
Yeah,
action.
It's a minor action. So if I wanted to even aim for a difficulty 2 task.
And let me tell you this: if you don't use a charge to do a stun or a wide
Yeah.
beam, then you're gonna have to burn either more momentum if you want to do aim as well.
Yeah.
It's essentially what you're attempting to do now.
Both are, it's equally expensive to be in melee and at range.
Yes.
Right now.
Yeah. However, you have the option of possibly taking out 2 people at
wide
once if
beaming
you do a
them.
wide
Yeah.
beam them. Yeah.
All right, we'll do that then.
Okay.
So how much momentum are we burning here?
Yeah. Okay. So
See that
I need
momentum math. One, get that extra dice.
Okay.
one.
You're going for the extra. Okay.
One for the extra die. Cool. That means I re-roll a d20, and it's a difficulty 2 task. Let's just do the extra die with your assist, and I won't spend the extra minor action to aim.
Okay.
I'll just use the
gonna
minor action to draw.
trust in your skill?
And then I need to spend momentum for the charge as well.
Yeah. One momentum, just because you're out of minor actions. Normally it's a minor action just to charge it up.
Yeah.
So another
All right,
momentum.
Yep.
Yep. So
Otherwise it'd be
down
really
to
difficulty 2.
1.
Yep.
Go ahead and make the roll,
What's the
and you get an
target number?
assist. So
I have to hit. Yeah, I don't know what you
it's
do.
difficulty 2 to hit one of
Yeah,
these
it's
guys.
difficulty 2 unopposed for me. I'm rolling control security with ranged weaponry.
So Martinez, it's going to be control security.
Okay.
One success.
4 successes.
Roll damage.
3 back up.
Wait, is that including mine or not including mine? My assist.
That's include.
4 total. Right?
5 total successes.
Yeah, it's 5 total successes. So we get
Yeah.
3 back
4
up.
plus 1 is 5.
So get that back up. All right, Rue. Go ahead and make your damage roll.
All right.
Cool.
Don't fight with Rue. Jeez Louise.
3.
I was nervous. I was like,
Well, if y'all hadn't,
No.
let me put it this way: if Hector, if you guys hadn't done something to take action now,
Yeah.
Rue would have been incredibly vulnerable to disruptor fire.
All right, so I'm using the
Wide-
charge on wide beam.
Wide. That, and if I remember correctly, phasers get that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I
You can
believe
affect
so.
2 targets
I mean,
or side by
please
side.
double check me.
Yeah.
By all means.
No, they're. Let's see. It's a type 2 phaser.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Hold on one sec.
Well, I never.
Get,
Hold on one sec.
and
Heavens to bed.
we cool if I spend 1 more momentum to re-roll 3 damage dice?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
You get the following damage effects when you use the charge ability. You get area, intense, piercing 2, or vicious 1. And you have used area. Very good.
All right.
Tell me what you got.
4, 6, 8, 9 with 2 effects. 2 of those are effects.
With 2 other effects.
Wow.
2
Okay.
of them are effects.
2 of
but
them
they
are
also
effects.
do damage, I
Okay.
believe. So, yeah.
There's
9.
you blast past their stress rating. Rue, you hear your captain's order. The phaser comes out. You see, this is as close as you've ever gotten to what could be a firing squad of death. But you go into like no mind. You just, your fingers play across the buttons one-handed. You raise the phaser up, and a wide beam red array just lances out, and both of them shout as they hit. You stun them. They drop, clatter to the floor, complete, just crumple. You see a small like sizzle coming up from their clothes. Non-lethal attack, but they are stunned. They are out, incapacitated, and the hallway looks clear. This round of combat is concluded. So, you just when it comes back, after the fire and they hit the ground for a second, there's a moment. It's almost like realizing. There's a moment where the clarity begins to bleed away for a second, and you realize, just tactically, if you'd just been 1 second slower, you would have been in a lot of trouble.
I suppose hypothetically.
Don't even want to think.
You would have been in a frick ton of trouble. I have a pile of threat and 2 disruptors aimed at you. It would have been bad. It would have been very bad.
Yeah, no, if I hadn't shot well. So, like, really hypothetically.
So you guys see the brig. It's still, yeah.
Right.
And next to it is 2 unconscious bodies.
Zazrit, any friendlies in the brig?
Zazrit strides right past you and says, I knew I was going to enjoy watching you. And he walks right up to the... He smiles. You see a smile cross his face as you all start to gather in the hallway, and he presses a few buttons, and the force field comes down. And the first thing that happens...
Take care of him.
First thing that happens is a woman charges out of the force field. She charges out. Now, at first glance, she looks like she's in sort of tattered robes. Most of you just look, it looks like she looks kind of like she's out of Mad Max, like clearly living on the fringes of the quadrant. Both sides of her head are shaved except for one like mohawk styled ponytail is just kind of pulled back. There's some tattooing going on her arm, on her neck, but you see the unmistakable sign of Vulcan ears on her. And she, Talon, you recognize the robes that she's wearing are tattered Vulcan burial robes. It looks like they've been tied up and like fashioned into a top. She charges out and grabs Zazrit by his collar and hefts him off of his feet and slams him into the bulkhead and immediately starts deeply kissing him.
So not a friendly, friendly.
And kind of just, everyone just watching this. And she pulls away from him and just...
I didn't know Vulcans could do that.
What took you so long? And Zazrit, you see a collection of like blood forming between his front teeth, and he just smiles back at her. And as y'all are watching this unusual display, your eyes immediately trail over to the 8.5-foot figure of a Gorn ducking underneath the entryway to this bulkhead and just steps out. This thing is massive.
Yes, Jody.
Yeah.
Massive.
Massive, Jody. It is massive. This thing has wide shoulders, it's a walking crocodile. It looks terrifying. Okay. If you guys ever go log on to Star Trek Online, take a look at their Gorn. It's basically that. Steps out and moves over and just stares. You see, it even has like these golden, like lenses, basically these sort of segmented lenses, like insectoid. I would say like goggles that just fit perfectly over its eyes. That's so cool. And it walks up. All it's wearing is just leather pants, nothing else. It's just shirtless with these huge claws that just come thudding out. It is the largest bipedal creature you've seen walk on a starship. And it stomps over, and you see Zazrit look up and goes, "Are you ready?" And what must be his second in command just goes, "Yes."
Do they also make out?
Yeah, all three of them just.
Wait, was that real?
No.
Okay.
No one would survive that. Okay. Koss immediately, the Gorn comes and says, "Come," and starts doing this, and you see Orion's coming out and looking around. Clearly the pirate crew, all different shapes and makes, all males, come stepping out and just kind of looking around.
How many of them do we have?
He just says, Zazrit turns and looks at you and says, "Captain, I know you don't trust me. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to give you the information you want. We can take it from here. I know you're Starfleet, you don't want to bloody your hands, but I know what you came for."
You know, we could help, Zazrit. We could beam all of these criminals off of your ship right now.
Beaming, you hear the Vulcan female say, "Listen to them talk. Listen to these Federation talk." She looks at you suddenly. Says, "Oh no."
Whatever prevents casualties. On their heads be it. Get us the database info. Yes, Captain?
Yeah, we'll of course
Koss just
accept
goes,
that data.
"Blood." Zazrit nods, looks up at him and says, "Captain, you're not going to like this." But he reaches into his collar and you see him pull out this small little cylinder and he goes, "Here you go.
He had it the whole time.
Thank
he
you.
had it the whole time.
Thank you for your help, Captain. And tell Starfleet they got an inside guy."
Ooh.
It's been a pleasure, Zazrit.
Best turn around and not watch what happens next. I know that doesn't do too well. And I promise you, we are leaving Federation space immediately.
I'll hold you to that. Let's get the hell out of here. Rue, you too, come on. Let's go.
The Vulcan female, she
can't
can't take
stay.
her eyes off you, but you see, Talon, there's a primal ferocity in her eyes. You've heard of Vulcans like this, those who have rejected the teachings, those who've rejected logic. They're extremely rare, but you are pretty sure you're looking into the eyes of a woman who's borderline feral.
And this isn't a Romulan, it's a Vulcan?
She's got a smooth, she's undoubtedly Vulcan from the looks at her.
Okay.
And you see Zazrit smile at you and then her and says, come on. And she kind of like, she doesn't want to leave. She just keeps looking at you. It's like, imagine what it would be like if Harley Quinn said nothing to you, but she kept staring at you as she's being pulled away. And Zazrit nods to you and one last time as him and the Gorn steps out and looks down and pauses as he stares at all of you and then leans in, this menacing form, and just goes, thank you, and then pivots. You're not sure if that's Gorn humor or not, but he pivots, and you think you might hear the steel underneath his feet. You're not sure if it's the sound of his scales or the metal twisting as he turns on his heel and begins to stomp down the hallway. And as the Orions begin to pour out of the brig, thank you. Out of the brig, they enter the hallway, and you start immediately hearing the sounds of, well, combat.
All right. Our work's done.
Martinez to Sally Ride. Track our signals and beam us back aboard, please.
The last thing you guys hear as you leave Zazrit's ship is the sounds of screams and shouts and disruptor fire and a Gorn roaring as the blue curtain of the transporter beam just... Sally Ride pulls away. It doesn't take long before you see Zazrit's ship stabilize. And maybe a few minutes later, where you see it turn in the direction of the Klingon neutral zone.
Someone won.
It doesn't take long at all.
Probably the Gorn.
And
I wanted to check the data before they're out of sight.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that when you get to the bridge, you immediately checking the data
Good job,
on the
boy.
computers.
Very nice.
It's a treasure
Do what I
trove.
can.
But that's not the stunning part. As you're looking through the data, you're watching as Zazrit's ship begins to angle itself and to jump into warp. Mm-hmm. And all of you kind of gather around Martinez as he's entering into the data, and you see it opens up in front of you, and you see shipment logs of activity. You see, you definitely see shipment logs of crates of biogenic weapons, along with a lot of contraband, where they were happening. Mm-hmm. But you also see some video files and one picture file, and you see the blurry image of a Bolian on board one of the ships.
It's like a name, or it's just a blurry image?
It's a blurry image, but it's unmistakable.
I can enhance it. Den, it's him.
Go ahead and make an engineering check, and I'll let you use computers as a focus here.
What is it?
It's going to be
Control engineering?
Control engineering.
Difficulty.
Difficulty here's going to be 3.
What the? Okay, I'll do that.
Computers, huh?
This isn't the movies.
Yeah, I'll let you
Sage. This
computer
is this is real life.
Make your roll. Make your roll. Difficulty
We
is
spent one, if
difficulty is
that's cool.
3.
Is this
It's,
a new
oh yeah, we
scene,
spent
though?
one. Sure.
It's not a new scene though.
Since we're wrapping up and the ship's pulling away and Martinez wants to make sure that this is the real
before
thing
he
before
leaves,
they
yeah.
leave, I'm going to say it's the same scene.
Okay.
2.
2.
2 successes.
2 successes? Okay.
Difficulty 3. Couldn't hit it.
You're trying to get through it. Did your focus come into play?
Oh.
Computers?
Oh. Crap. I don't
I got
even.
like a 9 and 11, I think.
Okay.
Oh, I got like a.
You're not able to clear it up enough, but it's unmistakable. It's absolutely Zadis. It's him.
It's him.
You see him, he's in what looks like similar garb to what the Orions were wearing. You're not sure, but it looks like he's got judging from the color differentiation from the rest of his skin, it looks like he's probably been wounded at some point along the side of his head. And the expression on his face, it's blank, but it looks like he's kind of looking over his right shoulder, like he's catching somebody who's taking a picture.
Is there a log? When was it taken?
It was about 4 months ago, but it looks like the subject of the picture is actually an image of the biogenic weapons being loaded onto a ship, and possibly a location of a planet, of where it was happening.
It wasn't where we were. No. Was it where we were?
Yes,
He was there.
he was there at Citrian 7.
At some point.
Whoa.
And that's where we have to end tonight's game.
We're gonna get you, Lynn. We're gonna get you, Lynn Zadis.
We're gonna get him.
I swear it.
Woo, that was an intense game tonight.
Get you. All right. All right.
That was intense.
There was a Gorn and everything.
Yeah, that was some. There's some.
No one fought the Gorn.
Sally Ride is having a bit of an identity crisis right now. It's
there's
really
the Gorn. They're smarter than they look.
yes.
Very smart.
yeah.
Very intelligent
Yeah.
race.
Who says they don't look smart?
Yeah.
People who see them.
So we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Thanks so much for hanging in there with us, guys. I'm glad we got our combat scene out of the way.
Yeah.
Rue got to do Rue's thing. Yeah,
Hey, the NPC took a shot.
it's true.
And Captain assisted.
Yeah, no, Captain allowed me to blast
Do the
more
thing.
things. It was great. It was
Do the
perfect.
thing.
Do the thing.
This is exactly how I want combat to go every time. Nobody gets hurt except the bad people.
I'm
Yeah.
on board.
I'm happy to be a
called-
backup.
I like
Delegated.
not being in your med bay. It's great.
Also, we had 2 security personnel on our little away team. What were their names?
Ward and something.
Hart.
Oh, it's
did we bring Hart
We
and
just,
Ward?
we just
Sure.
grabbed
All right.
Ward and
The
Hart.
only
Sure.
two-
Why don't we say this? Why don't we say we'll let the Sally Ride Ox crew decide who it was that was on the away team.
Accurate. Go do the thing.
Let you guys decide.
Who was
And
on that? Who was on
yeah.
that away mission with us? Yum.
Lieutenant Boogerface and Lieutenant Butthead.
All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up then. On that note, thank you so much for joining us for our little mission tonight. That wraps up Zazrit Part 2. Hector, we are not going to have you next week. Hector is not going to be with us next week.
That's
Hector's
right.
going to be out, so we're going to have an interesting little adventure
Yeah.
planned. So
Sans
stay tuned. Captain might be taking some time off. We'll let's you and I touch base and figure out what's going on. In the meantime, though, you guys have a great Wednesday.
You're going to
Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next Wednesday night. Hailing frequencies closed. Thanks for tuning in to Shield of Tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. We'll be here every week with the ongoing adventures of the USS Sally Ride. New episodes air on Geek and Sundry Twitch and Alpha every Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you'd like to see more, you can start your free 30-day trial on projectalpha.com.